You are not alone in the world. You are part of an ensemble. Ladies, gentlemen, and variations thereupon, this is Modern Escapism. Ladies, I've already said that. Teleprompter. Who's messing with the teleprompter?
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Yeah, can you tell I watched that today? Right. Hello and welcome to the show. Consider me the director of this show, and I am joined by my incredible team. The man that turned down the lead role in Ocean's 11. It's Biggie.
Hello.
In True Romance, she played a barfly. It's Candy.
Hello.
The stunt penis from Boogie Nights. It's Gadget. And the man who wrote and directed the 2016 ensemble masterpiece, Ghostbusters. It's Stig.
Fuck you. Hello.
Hello. Before we continue, it's everyone's favourite part of the show where we try to sell you shit. So take it away.
Okay, yes, we have a Patreon, and if you would like more of what we do, then you can head to patreon.com/Modern Escapism. On there, you'll find our 3 tiers that we do. First up is Modern Escapees for £5 a month. That will get you an extended edition of this episode every week, as well as at least one monthly special and any other specials that we do. If you like Dungeons & Dragons player podcasts, we do one, and it's called Do Dragons Dream of Scorched Sheep. For £5 a month, you can sign up for the Scorched Sheep tier, and that will get you early access ad-free versions of the podcast, as well as any battle maps, artwork, original songs, character sheets that we put together for the show, and you'll be able to suggest NPCs and items for Gadget to use in the campaign. But if you're feeling flush, and why aren't you? It's £7.50, it's the Biggie bundle, and that gets you everything.
Including hair clippings, which explains my hair.
Yeah, in my opinion, it's one of the greatest values money can buy, really.
Yeah. Every time someone signs up to the Biggie bundle, a new sprout of hair grows.
That's always on my head.
Well, let's just start as we mean to go on as usual. Let's just find out what we've all been doing during this week. I'm going to start.
Oh, arrogant.
Ooh.
This week, is he?
Mm-hmm. I'm the director. Not quite. Something big happened this week. I hope you're all sitting down, listeners.
Oh my God, you finally had the come to Jesus moment.
No.
Oh.
I got a PS5.
Hey.
Oh, so you did have a come to Jesus moment. Hey.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
So, very similar to Stig's story, really. Just woke up and I saw it there. Bought it. after a year bitching and moaning about it.
No, not just after a year, but you were bitching and moaning about it in the week.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yes.
I'll never get a PS5 because there's no stock of them anywhere.
I was fuming.
I know you've not played it yet, but I think it was definitely all the Deathloop chat. Even though even though you weren't that bothered about playing that from the start, it's the fact that we had it.
Yes.
And you couldn't get it.
Yes. As I have told you before on the show, FOMO is a deadly disease. And people...
There's no cure for it either.
There's no cure for it, apart from buying things.
If you're
For just £3 a month.
if you're experiencing FOMO, please call 1-800-FOMO.
That's what the patron's for, to help us with our afflictions of FOMO. Because we've all got it.
I mean, to be fair, you were like this with the Xbox S as well, because I remember I got the Series X, and it was about a week later you managed to get stock of an S. You couldn't cope with it.
So just think how bad it's been. It's been a terrible year waiting for it. And I've got it here now, and it came in the world's biggest Amazon box I've ever seen.
Oh, it's fucking huge.
I don't understand it. I get why they're keeping it all nice and secure and stuff, but fucking hell, getting it out, absolute. Oh, it's such a hassle. The Xbox Series S, the unboxing on that is way smoother. It doesn't weigh anything for one.
Yeah.
And then the PS5 turns up. All right, dickhead. Just fucking pummeling through.
It's not even an interesting unboxing. It's rubbish the way they packaged it.
The Series X unboxing is
that's a work of art.
Transcendent. It's lovely.
We texted about it, didn't we, Gadget, when we both got our Xboxes? We were like, have you opened it yet? It's glorious.
Yeah, and then the PS5 came. It makes it feel special, doesn't it? The Xbox One.
Even just the fact that it's got like black plastic wrapping around the Xbox itself, whereas the PlayStation, it's in a white bag.
Shove it in
every other bit of electronics.
Yeah,
a shitty white bag. No, Xbox.
The Series X is like wrapped beautifully. The S is wrapped beautifully. It's such a minute package. It says like "Dare to Dream" or some kind of fucking arty-farty quote from Microsoft. But it's nice, and then the PS5, it just comes. It's like you've bought a really big pair of shoes. You just open it up, and there it is, and you're just like, I even thought I was going to be able to put the wings on myself. No, they've done that for me. It's just there it is.
I've got a quote here, Oodles.
Go on.
A tweet from the 16th of June, 2021.
Oh.
I'd love a PlayStation 5. Is a tweet I'll probably be saying in 2 years' time.
That aged badly, didn't it?
When I saw that, I screenshot that. I was like, I'm going to keep that receipt.
Do you know that you're a bastard?
I just know you, mate. I
know you do. You've known me too long. I'm afflicted with FOMO. But yeah, I tell you what, the PS5 does better than the Xbox, in my opinion. It feels next gen.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Like
it definitely feels more special.
You turn the Xbox on, it's like, oh, it's like my Xbox One.
Yeah,
it's like that, but quick. And that comes on, it's all 4K. The load-up screen's 4K and everything. It's like, whoa, here we go. It's mine. I don't know about anyone else's. Mine's deadly quiet.
Yep. Yeah. Can I quickly jump in before you get into what you've been up to? Is that I also bought an Xbox One X.
Yeah, you did
this week.
Yeah.
So I went the other way. I already had a PS5 and I got the One X.
But now between us, we've all got everything.
X, sorry, the Series X, not a One X. Jesus, the stupid naming.
Don't get me started on that. I mean, again, Sony won that battle. Yeah. Let's just call it 5.
Yeah.
It's easier, isn't it? So it's easy to remember.
I mean, that's the only reason they did it, because like they did 360 because they didn't want Xbox 2, and then where'd you go from that? You can't have an Xbox 720.
No,
you know what I mean?
But like, I agree that like I think the controller, like, even though I quite like the layout of an Xbox controller, I think the PlayStation 5 one feels nicer.
I absolutely agree.
I think the Xbox One feels a little bit cheap, but that's mainly as well because I've got an Elite 2 that I play on my PC.
Yeah.
And I think the dashboard is nicer on the PlayStation. You're right that the Xbox, I think that dashboard is very similar to what I was getting when I had a 360 towards the end of it.
Yeah, because they changed that up, didn't they?
Yeah, towards the end of its run, it was very similar to that.
Tile-based, weren't it?
Yeah, it's just a bit dull. Like I was trying to figure out, it's fine, it's perfectly functional, and stuff like that doesn't really bother me. Like some people get well bent out of shape about how a dashboard looks.
No, but that's a part of reviewing a console, though, isn't it? You've got that's everything about it.
But the UI on the PlayStation is better in my opinion. But I mean, the Xbox is. I've already downloaded shitloads of games from.
I've always had a PlayStation
already,
pretty much, and I find the UI on the PS5 a little bit harder to remember where everything is. Even now, I don't find it as intuitive as it was before.
Yeah, I get.
But I agree. I like it the way it presents itself. It's really good.
The best UI for me is the Vita. I love the Vita bubbles.
The one thing I will say the Xbox has over the PlayStation, though, is quick resume.
Oh, God.
Because the amount of games I've lost my progress in with them.
Yeah,
with
so
PS5.
let me take you on my little journey that I was going to go on. So we boot it up. I didn't know how to get the base on at first. I didn't know there was a screw inside it. Little like secret screw.
It's hidden there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hidden in there.
Little secret screw. But anyway, I got it all looked up and big. Lovely HDMI 2.1 that they supply you with.
Very quickly, did you get the new PS5?
Yes, I did, yes, the 11 series.
This is the newer version.
Yeah. I didn't have a choice, I just wanted to get one.
Yeah.
And I was like, what I'll do then, I'll set it up on the app, because you can't you? You can set everything going.
Very easy.
Then I turn it on and it says, do you want to download a game while we're sorting your next 6 years out? your new PlayStation Live. I was like, yeah, I'll download a game. And last game I must have played on PS4, which was Hollow Knight. Always a winner. So it downloaded that while I was doing it, and then as soon as it boots up, I didn't know I was getting Astrobot.
Yeah, it comes pre-installed.
Yeah, everyone gets that.
I know, whole finger on the pulse. Everyone says this. But no, I didn't know this. And wow, what a way to introduce this next generation, that little robot is, isn't it?
Spot on, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it doesn't feel like a demo, even though it is.
No, it's more than a demo, because it's about a 3 and a bit hour game. It's got like speed running stuff in it, but it's like this wonderful little celebration of PlayStation nostalgia, while also massively showing off the DualSense controller.
Yeah, I got my significant other to come in, and she is not into games. I went, do this, and there's a little scene where it's like showing you what the adaptive triggers do.
Yeah.
And it's like fire coming out of the controller. I went, play with this, and then put the robots in the remote and waggle it about and stuff. And she was like, wow. Like, here we go, it's working.
I have to say, I go stay with my mum over Christmas, and I took my PS5 with me last Christmas, and I was playing on
top of
Astro.
the car, like, did you put it on top of the car and like a roof?
Of course, yeah. And I was playing Astro. I was like, Mum, do you want to go? She's like, okay. And she's not into games at all. She holds the controller upside down and whatnot. And she played it for about 45 minutes, and for the first time in her whole life, first time I've ever heard it, the next day she's like, can I have another go on the PlayStation?
Wow.
I was like, oh my God.
That's huge though, isn't it? Like, to me now, and people have probably said that Astro is now Sony's Mario.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's no doubt about it. That is it.
Adorable.
Did any of you play the VR version?
No, I saw it though. I watched people play it.
So good.
Yeah,
honestly, that was incredible. Like, actually, 10 out of 10 game. That was my game of the year. Like, I played God of War, and that was my game of the year.
Yeah.
Then I played and finished that, and I was like, no, that was stunning. That's like one of the best VR games I've ever played. I
need to borrow a PSVR at some point because I really want to play that.
Yes, it's so good.
I kind of fancy it. But yeah, Astro's brilliant, and then I got to play my first proper full next gen title, Death Stranding Director's Cut, baby. It happened. It happened. One of my games of the year when it came. 2019, Gadget?
Yeah, 2019 it came out.
I surpassed it already. It's so good. So much better.
Death
it's a fiver, mate.
From it.
It's a fiver.
I know. It's like Deathloop's in my PlayStation at the minute, and I kind of don't want to take it out until I get that done.
I might get Deathloop next week.
If I start Death Stranding, that's me until I finish it.
Yeah.
So I want to get Deathloop done first.
I'm same. I'm like, I've downloaded a few. I've downloaded like ones that have been like frame rate boost and stuff like that, God of War and stuff like that, and some other games that now you get like free PS5 upgrades on very few games, but I've got them, and I'm like, I ain't touching it. I've when low raw kicks in on Death Stranding, you're going for it, man.
Yeah, exactly. That's why.
Oh, what a game! What? It's not a game, is it? It's an experience. It's transcendent. It's just fucking impeccable. But yeah, I feel like, unlike I kind of did, and I never wanted to admit it with the Series S, I feel like it's next gen now. I really do. It's a proper step up.
I think the other thing as well, there hasn't really been a proper next gen game for the Xbox yet.
That's true. That's true.
There was the Medium, which I'm not going to start on because I'll get angry again.
We had Resi Village, didn't we? But that was not Xbox. It was everything.
No, that wasn't Xbox. And
cross-gen as well.
Yeah, like Resi 8, like wonderful game, loved it. I watched Candy streaming it on the PlayStation, and I played it on the Xbox.
No difference, is there?
There was no difference, and it didn't. Even then, like it's a beautiful game, but it didn't feel next gen.
Yeah, I don't think Valhalla did either. Valhalla didn't feel next gen
because like I remember I played 7 on the PC, Resi 7 on the PC.
Yeah,
and that looked just as good as 8.
Absolutely, yeah, I agree.
So it was like playing just a really high spec PC game.
Well, to the fact that Resi 7 and Resi 8 share assets throughout that game anyway.
Oh yeah, but you know what I mean. It's like the impression I got of it was like the same as when I played 7.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
So
both launches for the consoles have been difficult, haven't they? Mm-hmm. And the Game Pass absolutely sells any Xbox you want, Xbox Series S, the One, the Series X, whichever one you want. But actual next gen titles, you're right, they're very few and far between.
We'll get them.
I can't remember if I said it last week as well. I think that a lot of the delays for upcoming games have been because they've actually had to go back and try and make it work on the last gen as well, because people just haven't been able to get next gen consoles.
I appreciate that though, because I was one of those people. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't get one, so I'm all for it. But Yeah, to cut a long story short, I'm there now. I'm back in the third place, and it feels
You'll be in the
great.
fifth place now, won't you?
I just like to remind people that PS2 advert was the third place. Made no sense. It made no sense, but I loved it. But yeah, I'm in, and I don't regret it yet. It feels good. I'm happy. If I don't get an HDMI switcher, I'm never going to turn that Xbox back on. So I need to get one fast.
I'll send you the link for the one I bought.
Yeah, because it's just not going to happen because I can't be asked. Unless some mint comes on Game Pass. But then again, I've cancelled my Ultimate. So let's see what happens.
He's gone in hard.
Oh, I've gone in hard. I got PS Plus as well. I'm back, baby. It's Sony boy.
Phil Spencer's crying in his office.
No, I'm agnostic. I'm agnostic.
Oodles.
I mean, to be fair, I play
Hit
Switch.
the klaxon.
I play Switch more than anything because it's just there, isn't it? It's just pick it up, switch you go. But yeah, love it. Let's move on. There'll be more to talk about the PS5 in future, I'm sure. Whew. Biggie, what you been doing?
Well, for all our listeners in the Discord already know what I'm going to be talking about. Thanks to John Cheetham, friend of the show.
Influencer, some say.
I ended up watching Squid Game, which was at number 1 on Netflix. It's currently, I think, number 2.
Number 2, yeah.
Yeah,
How'd you manage to find it then?
Press
that was
left
unnecessary.
and then press the
That was
search
unnecessary.
The worst part is that joke is from one of our Patreon exclusive episodes as well.
Yeah, no one understands it.
No one knows the
Basically,
reference unless you're a
Biggie's a technological boomer. I can't even say
No, I'm not. There are just certain things that frustrate me. But anyway,
okay, boomer.
including the other 4 people on this pod. But yeah, it's a South Korean, basically the best way to describe it is like a survival drama series. Forgive me if I get any of these names wrong. It's written and directed by Hwang Dong-hyuk. The 9-episode series stars Lee Jung-jae, Park Hae-soo, and Wee Ha-jun, if anyone are fans of those actors. But basically, it just tells the story of a group of people, which in this particular incident is 456 of them, who risk their lives in a mysterious survival game with a massive prize of 45.6 billion won, which is Korean money, prize. And it follows the main protagonist, Jiun, who is a divorced father of a little girl. He's crippled with gambling debts, has a part-time job as a chauffeur, and has also been looked after by his elderly mother, who not only is she struggling with her own health conditions, but basically works full-time. And it's quite embarrassing when you first meet him. You think this guy's pretty much at his lowest. He ends up agreeing to take part in a mysterious game when he loses his latest bout of debt gambling. He has a guy that he owes money to, beats him up. He's pretty much had it with life, basically. And then there's this one little glimmer of hope is to go on this game show, basically. Moving along with this as well, there's a cop who's investigating his missing brother, and he infiltrates the base where the game's being held and tries to uncover what it's all about, what's going on, and then ends up sort of discovering more sinister secrets about the place. It's a really good show. It's only 9 episodes. It explores sort of the themes, as already mentioned, debt, but it's got friendship, betrayal, and ultimately desperation as well. It really shows you how far people go to either try to get to the end game, shall we say, the means to get there. And it's a great, really well acted. I don't recognise many of the actors. I'm quite new to Korean cinema, so I don't recognise a lot of them. But what they've shown in this series has got me sort of gunning for more, basically. Really enjoyed this. I've been hooked over the last couple of days to get this finished. And it's so good. It's gory. It's heartbreaking at times. There's drama. The tension. I'm only going to mention 2 things. The episode with marbles and the bridge is all you need to know. That doesn't ruin anything for anybody. But when you get to that, wow. Just, yeah, brilliantly directed, brilliantly acted. The tension is just incredible. And if a lot of other Korean TV or movies are like this. I mean, obviously everyone knows about Parasite, but it makes me want to sort of dig further into this. And I've already had a chat with John about other stuff that I should go and check out. So thanks for pointing this out, John, because I've really enjoyed this.
Excellent. I mean, I do love I like a lot of Japanese cinema, and problem with Japanese cinema and shows and that, sometimes the budget's not there and people don't care. But the Korean stuff you see, it all looks like they're just fucking putting their heart and soul into a lot of it.
It's really good. It's really gory, but it's
I found that out.
Believably.
Son watched it.
Yeah. And I've also watched it, by the way, with the actual Korean audio.
Everyone should.
I would do that normally, but I know some people like to watch things dubbed. But I think this, again, you really need to experience what the actors are actually.
Dubbing's good when you're not looking, basically.
Yeah, I have to say, I started watching it today whilst I was doing something else, and I put it on dubbed, so I could kind of get on. And I do regret it. The voice, I've only watched it for maybe half an hour, but the voice acting wasn't great, I'm afraid to say.
Was it aggressive Americanisms?
It felt more like that they were professional voice actors, but they were used to acting in animated shows, maybe like animes. Mm-hmm. But it was just far too animated.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if I always go back to Crouching Tiger as an example, that if you ever want to watch Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, to get the emotion from the actors who are top class as well, then you need to see that in the original language, because you're getting the portrayal out. You can have somebody standing in a booth reading a script out, and they can try their hardest, but they're still not going to capture.
You lose the cadence of how the language, especially with Japanese stuff as well, and Chinese stuff. You lose the cadence of how the language and the emphasis on what they're saying. You don't need to know what the word means, but you need to see that emotion. And when like a lot of like Japanese animes, for instance, when they when you listen to the English stuff, they put a lot of and you put a lot of that English style, but it's a bit more. How do I put it? It's a bit more emotional when it's in Japanese. You know what I mean? You just miss a lot of that. But Squid Game, man. How many squids were hurt in the game?
None.
Oh, it's vegetarian friendly. Excellent. Stig, what you been up to, sir?
As I mentioned before, got my Xbox, downloaded a load of games on that. First one that I've played, well, actually, technically, I started this on the PC, but migrated over to the Xbox, is the Artful Escape.
Yeah.
You mentioned it a few weeks ago. Fucking amazing. Like,
it's a proper journey, isn't it? It's a proper.
I started playing that today, and it's something special. That
it really is.
I thought you'd be all over it straight away, Gadget, as the guitar maestro himself. You appreciate just wanting to fucking riff.
I just want to know who plays the guitar in it. It sounds like Steve Vai, but I know it's not.
It's not.
Oh, God.
But great voice acting, wonderful visuals. Like, I literally just kept pressing the screenshot button like over and over again in this game, because it's like constantly just bringing up like these amazing visuals, and I just really enjoyed it. Finished that this morning, actually.
It's fucking free as well.
Yeah,
fuck,
so good. Well, if you've got Game Pass. But yeah, it's part of Game Pass. If you've not played it, it's great. Oodles talked about it a few weeks ago. Pretty much basically said everything I was going to say about it. So go back and listen to that one. And the other thing I did this week was I watched The Green Knight. So The Green Knight is directed by David Lowery. It stars Dev Patel, Alicia Vikander, Joe Edgerton, Sean Harris, and Ralph Ineson. And it's an epic fantasy adventure based on a timeless Arthurian legend. The Green Knight tells the story of Sir Gawain, King Arthur's reckless and headstrong nephew, who embarks on a daring quest to confront the Green Knight, a gigantic emerald-skinned stranger and tester of men. And I really, really like this. It's pure art house wankery at its best.
Put that on the box.
It probably will be.
And I don't always go for them. There's, you know what you get really with A24 films. With a lot of them, there's a lot of hit and miss for me with that studio. But I just really, really love this. I just was so enthralled throughout. I think the trailer completely missells it.
Mm-hmm.
I generally think people have gone into this thinking it's some kind of Game of Thrones-esque fantasy, but it's about as far from that as you can get. Bar it obviously having a fantasy setting, it isn't that kind of film at all. I can completely see why this has had mixed reactions. It seems to have had more positive, but I know for a fact, I mean, even Oodles said that he found it really boring. I've seen other people said they thought it was boring and nothing happened and it was just tedious and pretentious.
I think it's fucking gorgeous.
Oh, I mean, it is absolutely stunning.
It's stunning.
Yeah, like it's some of the best cinematography you'll see this year. It was just so good. I like the settings, the costumes, everything in between looks amazing. There are a few scenes set in murky, gloomy environments which did look a bit awful because of harsh compression and color banding. Like,
yeah,
it genuinely, you were watching it and you could see, when you're watching like a black screen and you can kind of see
silhouettes.
Yeah, grey shadows above it. Like they look like grey clouds around me. It just, you could tell that it was they obviously were struggling with the lighting in there, and I'm not really sure why they put it out like that, considering the rest of it looks fucking incredible. But yeah, other than that, that's the only quibble I had with the way it looks. Everything else just looked amazing. So it's not so much an adventure film, really, more of like a dream journey. So Dev Patel, he plays Gawain.
Gawain, yeah.
They pronounce it like various characters.
They pronounce it 4 different ways.
Differently, yeah. Every single person who meets it pronounces it differently.
I think it's Celtic or Welsh name, because some of them say it with that Welsh accent when they say it, don't they? So
yeah, I'm gonna say Gawain. That's how
Gawain,
it looks to me. Yeah. So he's a questing hero. Encounters on his journey. Encounters giants, seductions, foes, a mythic fox, and he kind of engaging in these trials with a blinkered sense of wonder and melancholy. I kind of found his character quite endearing in a way at times, that he wasn't this just super brave knight going out there I'm going to go do this mission because I'm this brave knight. Like he actually had a bit of...
No, they were pissed at the beginning, weren't he?
Yeah, he was sloppy. He's easily led. He's easily seduced, and he's not as... Like, I think when you see the trailer, you kind of think that it's going to be this.
The trailer's a bit like it's a bit like Hercules kind of thing. It's a bit like
that kind of
like
adventure.
one man against the gods.
Yeah, and
he's not,
and he's kind of like this perfect knight who could do all
Dev
of this.
Patel, he looks incredible. He's been in gym, that lad.
Yeah.
He looks incredible. I was like that. Whoa, Dev, calm down. Woo.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're watching it, it's like... So I read this really great thing, which I thought sounded right, and Dom Tutti says, "We're watching a righteous man on his legendary mission, a fool and a coward beleaguered by his own hubris, a dashing but clumsy novice who can hardly handle his own weapon, and the answer to all is yes to all of the above." Like, it isn't... Like I said before, he's not just this set character of, like, this man on a mission. Like, he has all these faults and everything about him, and you see that throughout the film.
Sounds like Cowboy, actually.
It's not that
bad. No.
He got blood on his weapon.
Oh.
It does. It does a really good job of preserving the weirdness of the original poem while updating the themes and concerns of the characters to a bit more relatable and modern audience. It's hallucinogenic, spellbinding, Shakespearean.
It is.
As I said, it's proper art house wankery, and exactly what you'd expect out of a medieval A24 and David Lowery film. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was captivated by it. I thought it looked amazing. I really loved like the last 20 minutes of it. The ending, I was like, where's this going? And then when it goes to where it does go, I was like, okay, yeah, like I was a bit worried about what it was doing, but when it kind of comes to the forefront, I thought, actually, no, that was brilliant. So,
that makes sense. I've seen a few reviews saying, I don't understand what was happening. Like, it's pretty clear what's happening. It's not a confusing film.
Yeah.
It's straightforward. And how I saw it was like, it reminded me, I don't know if you played the game, it reminded me of a Team Eco game, like Eco and Shadow of the Colossus. It's more spectacle of a substance, if you get what I mean. and like you said, House Wankery. And even though I said it was dull, I watched it all, so it weren't bad. It's hard to describe it because I didn't dislike. I just think it were overindulgent. But they are.
Stiggy's hit the nail on the head then, because when he described the movie just before he went into it, the trailer, how it was sold to me, was exactly what he said I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So hearing that it's not quite that, I am intrigued. I am going to watch it.
It's gorgeous. I'd love it in like an ultra widescreen fucking IMAX. I'd love to watch it in that.
Oh yeah, it looks amazing on the cinema screen. But yeah, it's told in this like kind of episodic way as well. Like each kind of setting and people he meets along the way.
Did you notice how fast the title cards are? The title cards are really fast. Bang, bang. Chapter 1.
Yeah, yeah. It kind of does this thing where it's just like it brings up a title card and it says ... and then later on it says and ... something and ... and it kind of puts these new titles.
Rapid, isn't it?
Yeah, like every 20 minutes.
And it's in an horrible font that I couldn't read really well.
Yeah, I couldn't catch some of them, to be honest. It's done on this old ye old medieval-y type font. But no, I thought it was really great.
I think it's going to win awards for costume massively.
It'd be up there for costume and cinematography and things like that, and maybe even acting for Dev Patel.
Yeah, he's best thing in it. If you like Dev Patel, it's worth sticking out for him because he looks great.
Repeated viewing sort of help people get their head around it a bit more.
I might watch it again.
Appreciate it more.
Potentially. I don't know if I'd watch it again anytime soon, but I'm like that with most films.
Mate, I watched Justice League 5 times.
Yes, we know.
But that's just punishment. But I'm just, there's some films that I absolutely love that I just, it'll be a long time before I watch them again. I won't even bother watching again.
Yeah.
But, yeah. No, I loved it. I thought it was really good.
I tell you what it did do for me, though. It made me salivate more over June. I'm like, oh, June's coming. Oh, big epic. Oh, it's coming. That's what.
When's that out?
Soon. Like 4 weeks
End
or
of
something.
October.
It's been getting really good reviews as well.
Oh. So I was like, okay, strap in. I didn't help myself watching it on my monitor, to be fair.
No.
It didn't help anything.
No, at least I kind of got a nice TV to watch it on, which helps.
Yeah. I couldn't watch it on TV because my son was downstairs watching Squid Game. But yes, Green Knight. Watch it. I'd like to hear some of our listeners' responses on that because it is a proper... There's been some... I mean, critically, they seem to love it. The actual filmies, they seem to like it, but it's more the normies like me.
Yeah. No, even like one of the film critics who I tend to disagree with and who is really, really harsh with his reviews has given it like 4.5 out of 5 and a glowing review. And he's notoriously, when I've seen some of his reviews, he's really hard to please.
Yeah, I think the marketing is absolutely the killer on this one. Why people are more like, this is not what I signed up for.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think people will watch that the trailer and watch this and think,
That's me basically. Like I saw it pop up on Prime, I went, Green Knight, oh green, and do you know what I mean? I didn't even think it was that. I'm like, oh shit, because it's on Amazon Prime, by the way, everybody. So everyone's got that surely. But yeah, check it out, and we'll move on to Candy.
Well, what I want to talk about, I don't want to talk about it in depth yet because I haven't finished. But I've been really, really enjoying Ted Lasso. The last 3 episodes in particular.
The last episode was brilliant.
Yeah, so I thought it started a little bit weaker than the first season, but yeah, the last episode in particular, it was just absolutely stunning. I was laughing and I was crying, and I also did those kind of snotty laugh cries.
Yeah.
Because of that episode, I basically just fell in love with Ted Lasso and Jason Sudeikis.
I'm not spoiler alert, but he's so vulnerable at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah. I just wanted to reach through the screen and just give him a big squeeze.
Yeah, and I'm telling you now, Roy Kent is not human. It talks like, I'm going to fuck you. That is not a human.
It's the jawline as well.
He won an Emmy, didn't he? So
he's brilliant. That's what I mean. He's brilliant. Yeah.
I didn't realise how involved he was in the show either. He's not just the actor, is he? He's I think he's a producer or as a writer, or he's really really high up in it. It's basically his show.
Yeah, it's a great show. Just a great show.
But anyway, because of that, I went back and rewatched a film that I watched a couple of years ago, and that's also starring Jason Sudeikis, and that's called Colossal.
I saw this last year.
Yeah. Now, it was originally released in 2016, so it's several years old now. I think I watched it probably the year it came out. So I'd forgotten most of it. So alongside Jason Sudeikis, it also stars Anne Hathaway, who's usually pretty strong, to be fair. And it follows her as an unemployed writer who unwittingly manifests a giant kaiju monster in...
it's fucking bollocks.
Every other day for me.
I think it's Soul. I think
Soul.
It's, yeah.
It is Soul, yeah. Now, weirdly, there's actually two monsters in this film, and that's not the main point of the film.
The kaiju isn't in general.
Yeah, it's more a film about addiction and toxic relationships, and kind of the consequences of your actions played out by the monsters. So Anne Hathaway, as I said, she's an alcoholic writer who moves back home after basically hitting rock bottom. So she tries to deal with her demons and ends up working at a bar owned by an old school friend played by Jason Sudeikis.
Sorry, did you say she's an alcoholic then working in a bar?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Here stems the problem, you see.
And it's a really cheap bar where you can get cheap booze.
And you get the impression she's probably not paying for it either. So after an all night of drinking at the bar, she goes home, crashes, and wakes up sometime in the afternoon to discover that this giant monster has appeared in Seoul.
Yeah, which is the other side of the world to them, isn't it?
Yeah, just kind of chilling. And now, because of reasons, she comes to realize that she's in control of this monster. So she raises her hand, the monster raises her hand, she goes on a stomp, the monster goes on a stomp. So after confiding in her school friend and the bar owner, the pair of them go to investigate, and it transpires that he can also control this big robot. Now, kind of because of this, and also because he's an incredibly unstable character, his behavior becomes more and more erratic, and being in control of that robot, essentially being able to destroy a city, he uses that to control Anne Hathaway's character after becoming jealous. So it's a bit of it is a strange...
It sounds a laugh a minute, doesn't it? It sounds bleak as fuck.
This is another film where the trailer misled people.
Yes.
Because it looked like it was a bit of a comedy.
We've also got another topic.
Yeah. She controls a kaiju. And then you watch it and you're like, well, this isn't what I expected at all.
It seems to me when I watched it, Candy, I don't know if you got that, it seems to be that's just an amalgamation of what's happening in real life.
Yeah,
For a while, watching that film, I thought it weren't really happening.
Yeah,
You know
it's kind of an embodiment of the battle with her demons and his demons as well, and kind of coming to a head in a big battle. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of fun. I wouldn't say it's a comedy per se, although it, like you said, it was almost advertised as such. But it's all right. I quite enjoyed it.
She's got a kaiju. He's got a robot. Let's see what happens.
It's not that fun.
It's not. It's that. I mean, they look good. The scenes where they're destroying Soul and stuff like that. There's a little bit of comedy there and that, but some dark undertones as well that really put me off a little bit. He flat out punches her in the face at one point. Yeah,
not the robot.
Fucking hell.
Him.
Yeah, I didn't like to see that. I never do. But it's just, I don't know. What makes the main thing with Jason Sudeikis and Anne Hathaway, massive superstars, when they read that script, did they go, this is a good idea?
Well, I was reading about it, and I think she was looking for something like that in particular that was a little bit offbeat and something that wasn't a blockbuster, because I think it came out after she was in Batman or
Les Miserables as well.
Yeah. So she wanted something that wasn't quite such a big film, I think, and
she's good in it. She's really good in it.
They're both good in it. It's just a strange film.
Yeah, your description doesn't help even. I don't think I could describe it any better. It's just such a fucking weird film.
It's like the monsters are an afterthought. The monsters aren't anything. They could almost not be there.
Yeah. Forget the kaiju, they're just there.
Yeah, if you're watching it hoping for a monster film, watch Godzilla instead.
Yeah. No.
No, do.
Watch Shin Godzilla.
Because at least you get monsters.
Watch Shin Godzilla instead. Fuck. Is that everything you've got there, Canny?
Yep, afraid so.
Excellent. Right then, Gadget, you've been doing.
Well, it's been a bit of a quiet week because I started my new job this week. So as a result, I've been fucking knackered. So I haven't done much. I'll admit. However, things I have done. Pip and I are just kind of starting to casually binge through US MasterChef.
Oh, I love that show.
Because I don't like the UK MasterChef because I can't stand Greg Wallace.
I have to watch Australian MasterChef is where it's at.
Yeah, everyone says Australian one's better, and I've not touched it yet.
The Australian MasterChef is incredible.
Is it?
Well, we've been watching season 3 of the American one because Pip saw some clips online, and there's a blind girl in it.
Lovely.
And she's really fucking good.
Oh, yes.
And you know how
it
American
needs to be, really.
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus, Piggy.
No, but she does. I mean, like, if you're going to go on MasterChef, you don't have a shit chef on there, do you?
You meant that in such a more wholesome way than I thought.
Oh, Jesus.
And you know in the traditional way that US reality kind of competition shows go, someone is the heel. They have to be cast as the bad guy.
And they play that.
Yeah. In this one, it's a lad called Ryan who is an unemployed trust fund kid from the Upper East Side in New York, and he's a massive bellend.
He's probably an actor then.
Ryan.
Yeah,
he's probably an actor. They always are, these baddies in these shows.
Either way, he's a cunt, and I'm quite happy to see him do badly because he's not as good as he says he is. Aside from that, what else? Played a little bit of Deathloop this week. I've managed to make a bit of progress in that. Very happy with how that one's going. I did a silly thing.
Uh-oh.
It's not good for my
finances. Is it confession time?
It's confession time for us all.
Yeah, I spent 455 quid.
I'm not going to like sugarcoat the fact that I spent £500 on new recording gear this week. But that's not the stupid thing. No, I bought a Magic the Gathering set.
Oh, what?
Magic the Gathering set.
Explain to non-nerds.
I would, but you're a massive geek.
Yeah, I know exactly what it is.
Magic the Gathering is a collectible card battling game. It's kind of like the thing that Hearthstone ripped off.
It's better than Pokemon cards.
It's better than Pokemon cards. It's also highly addictive.
Yes.
And made by Wizards of the Coast who make D&D and they share the same artists. And I accidentally bought, well, I didn't accidentally buy, I deliberately bought the Adventures in the Forgotten Realms set because I thought, oh, this is really pretty and they're lovely cards in D&D. And then I fucking started playing it, didn't I?
Uh-oh, he's gonna start going to the meetups. Sorry, guys, can't record. Off to play cards.
Yeah, and my friend, helpful as he is, sent me the starter kit, which has a couple of like pre-made decks in as well.
Oh,
yeah.
And then I downloaded the app on my phone, and oh fuck's sake, no!
And he's got some binders to put them all in. No, we've lost it.
Oh, honestly, it's unreal. The thing is, I'm having a lot of fun playing it on my phone.
I used to play it when I was a teenager. I used to fucking love that shit, man.
It was one of the weirdest things I saw at EGX because. They have, retro areas, but they also have an area for card gaming. And I just thought, to me, it was just like a really weird place to go and do that because you're surrounded by maybe other things maybe you should be checking out than playing.
Yeah, if me and Stig had seen them, we'd have been throwing fucking chicken nuggets.
I just thought that was a really weird place to do that, personally.
Yeah.
I get the environment because it's all geeky and nerdy, but I just thought, yeah, you're surrounded by other stuff you could check out.
They do it because it's a great place to meet up with like people that are into it, and then you can form factions and stuff like that, and then you end up in tournaments. And I get it, big money, big bucks.
Yeah. What I'm enjoying about it is it seems less. It seems a lot deeper than Hearthstone because I used to really enjoy playing Hearthstone.
I did. I just not allowed to play it anymore.
No, because Blizzard are bastards. But yeah, I played Hearthstone for a good few years, but I got bored of it after a while because it's like, unless you were like pumping loads of money into it to stay within the meta,
which I did,
you just got smashed by better players.
Which I did.
So I moved on to Elder Scrolls Legends when that came out, which is Bethesda's take on it, and that were really good. But no fucker played it, and they shut the servers down a couple of years ago. Bastards, because it was really fucking good. And this is tickling all the little strategy parts of my brain and just making me go, oh, cards. But it's more in depth. There's more to the turn order. You can be a bit more tactical with things. You've got to manage like opponents' cards which are flying, which you can't defend against, and stuff like that. And yeah, I really like it. And some of the abilities that you can throw off are really good. I won one of my matches. It's just against the computer. Like I'm not brave enough to play against people yet.
Oh, no.
But I managed to win one by not doing any damage for about 7 turns and just stacking up a load of buff things and then just wiping them out in 1 turn. Stuff like that. Like I enjoy that. That makes me happy. Like just like making all those numbers happen in the right order.
Yeah.
It kind of like gets that really, really nerdy bit of me going. So yeah,
don't worry. I've seen massive, like 18-stone rugby players at Magic the Gathering tournaments. You know what I mean? It's a very old card game now, isn't it? Is it like 30 years?
30
and they're carrying the same weight in a folder of those cards.
Oh god, yeah. There's some of the cards, some of the rarer ones, and that they sell for more than the rarer Pokemon ones and stuff like that. It's like a proper. It's great, but I ain't got time for that shit anymore. That's my issue.
Wizards have got it like really set down to keep your money going, because if you want to play like in like league play or like ranked play, you can only use like decks from the last 2 years. They release 4 decks a year, so it keeps you constantly buying and like swapping in and swapping out.
It also evolves the meta without having some overpowered garbage from the 80s. Do you know what I mean? I like it. It's cool, but yeah, it's such an expensive hobby, mate. And especially when you nip into Tesco sometimes and you see there's like 2 for 1. Oh, I will get 10.
Solomon Tesco. Solomon Tesco, do
yes, they do. Oh, I should have said it. Near the magazines, you'll find them.
Yeah, and that's a particular hole I almost fell down a couple of years ago. We got into it at work actually, and I got a starter deck for me and a couple of my workmates, and it really grabbed them, and it didn't grab me so much. And my problem is numbers. I don't deal well with numbers, but they both absolutely loved it. And because we had to take a bit of time off, it's kind of fizzled out a little bit. But I think they're both going to try and take it up again. So if you do want to play against some real players, I can put you in contact with them. They'd love to.
What I might do is when I feel brave enough to play against real players, I might download Magic the Gathering Arena on the PC.
Yes, that's the one.
I might stream it.
Oh, nice!
I've got it on my phone. I've got Arena on my phone. But yeah,
do you know the second you start streaming Arena, you're going to start bringing people from under the floorboards of Twitch, going, "Hello there."
Oh yeah. Just like back in the day when I used to stream Blizzard games. You're not in the meta.
Yeah. Oh god.
Worst one when I was streaming. What was that? I was streaming Heroes of the Storm. It was when Junkrat was released, and I was just noodling around with him, just just getting the hang of the character. What you're playing Junkrat for? He's not in the meta.
Yeah.
Because he's a new character and he might be fun. Oh no, you don't play him. He's not in the meta.
You're not pleasing the meta goblins, and you should.
Oh. And I imagine they all speak like that.
Yeah, they do.
Because they're little goblins.
This is all beyond me. This. I've never been interested.
You're too fucking cool. That's why, mate.
No, not at all.
You're a mad shagger. You can't
me.
help it. You're not interested in cards. You're interested in tapping ass. It's not your fault, mate. You one or the other.
Put that on the box.
If you're not tapping ass, don't buy these. But yeah.
Give me a pack of top trumps. I'm all right.
In the immortal words of the game that I no longer play, job done. Right. So
exactly.
Let's move on to the main topic at hand. Biggie, you mad shagger. What are we talking about?
This week, we're basically talking about ourselves, the incredible ensemble that we are of the podcast. But we also decided to include TV and film, the best ensembles that we could think of.
Yeah, good topic. And again, another surprise one that I didn't... I thought we'd have already done this by now, but here it is, the ensemble. So, if you don't know what that means and you're not French or whatever, it's team usually. It's like a team of actors. There's sometimes more than one lead or a load of, do you know what I mean?
Hang on.
Go on, get me an absolute definition what it is, because I know what it is in my head, but my tongue doesn't want to tell you what it is.
This is like a cast production where everyone has equal weight to the storyline. There's not a star.
So it's in a dramatic production, an ensemble cast is one which is comprised of multiple principal actors and performers who are typically assigned roughly equal amounts of screen time.
That's it. And that's what we're going to do. I think this is a celebration rather than a a bashing because I've picked one I love, and I think you guys have picked one you love, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So we'll start with Candy.
Oh, me again. Well, I get to talk about one of my absolute favourite films, I think. I'm going to talk about The Addams Family, the 90s version. So the one starring obviously Morticia Addams, Angelica Houston, Raul Julia,
She looks incredible in that.
Oh my God, what a stunner.
I definitely don't think there was anybody acting at the time who could have done a better Morticia than Angelica Houston.
Not ever. And that's Raul Julia, incredible Gomez.
Oh, perfect Gomez.
I just can't see like past that team of those actors in that film.
Yeah.
Like when they say, "Oh yeah, we're going to do a new one," they had to They had to do an animated version because it's just like, who's going to take up that mantle and do?
They were born.
A job.
They were born for the role.
Because we were all kind of the same age as well. We were all kids in the 90s, and that's our Addams Family. Like I know we.
Sorry, mate.
You're mean.
He had a full-time job. Uncle Fester over there.
Moving on.
Oh my word!
Savage.
I'm going to send the hand over to you and throttle you.
I'm into that. Do it.
Round the throat, mate, not the other thing.
Anyway, as I was saying,
you can have a finger up the bum as well.
Oh God. Iron Brew just go out my nose.
Oh God.
I ain't doing it now. Someone else can talk. No more fingers at the bum when I'm trying to speak.
Oh, it only took 55 minutes for us to go off the rails.
Candy, you may continue.
Right. As I was saying, there have been loads of different versions of the Addams Family, as we just touched on. So that wasn't the original version. I think there was a version. Was it the 60s? It was still black and white, wasn't it?
It was early 60s,
yeah. So the 90s version is the one I'm going to be talking about. Absolute favourite. I'm going to be covering the Addams Family and the Addams Family Values. I think the first film was a little better, but Values is a better ensemble.
I think the as two films go as well, they just work perfectly together. I don't think I've ever sat down and watched the first one and not watched Values after.
And there was a third in the series as well. Technically, it was a completely different cast. Obviously, Raul Julia passed, and the kids were too old to play.
There's only two Addams Family films.
Yeah. The magic just wasn't recaptured. The original cast, we got Morticia, played by Angelica Houston, just absolutely stunning. Raul Julia as Gomez as well. Festive, played by Christopher Lloyd, Doc Brown from...
Strange choice, but it ended up working.
It worked so well, didn't it? Like, who would have cast that? Christina Ricci as well, playing Wednesday, which basically launched a career.
Defined her career for a long time. She couldn't get away from it.
Because she was born to play that role.
You will be a goth forever.
Now, the second one was joined by Peter McNichol and Christine Baranski as Gary and Becky Martin Granger.
Oh, God,
and Joan Cusack as Debbie Jelinski, Fester's love interest and serial killer. But I'll get onto that in a second. Now, Values kind of built on the foundation that the original film created. It was a traditional, wholesome family unit against a kind of bizarre, frightening background. And the family, they either didn't care or they were just completely unaware that their surroundings were abnormal. And all the characters just have the charisma turned up to 100. So Morticia and Gomez, they have just this electric, romantic marriage, and the actors are completely perfect.
Academia.
They're so believable alongside each other, aren't they? They're just two yin and yang, two parts of a whole. And they're both so stunning as well. Both of them.
They are gorgeous.
Especially,
people.
Like, do you remember in the 90s, it was all Baywatch babes? Everyone was like blonde bombshells.
Yeah.
I'd
have took Angelica Houston over Pamela Anderson any day.
Absolutely, even with the white makeup and black eyes.
Yes, especially because
absolute stunner.
Queen of the Goths.
Yes.
Yeah, and Christina Ricci, as I said, she was born to play the role of Wednesday. She's just kept a completely deadpan expression throughout. And she was quite a little girl as well in the first film. I don't think she could have been more than about 7 or 8.
Yeah, she wasn't a teenager at that point, was she?
No, she was probably verging on that in the second one.
Yeah.
I would guess she was maybe 12 or 13.
She's,
But she just doesn't
born in
bat an eyelid.
1980. Sorry.
80, so that came out so she would have been 11, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
God, she's older than I thought. But just plays the role so well and doesn't... You know, sometimes you can watch child actors and you can kind of see them like just having a bit of a laugh or not taking it so serious. She was that character.
I think Pudge is a bit crap, but he's supposed to be, isn't he?
He is. He's... Yeah,
it's
just
so
a bit
Wednesday
of a
can
boring
bounce
character.
off him. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing.
He's not really done much. 13 actor credits. And
he just looked good, little pudgy boy.
IMDb is like his picture is of Pugsley, so he's not in the industry anymore.
Did not continue acting after that.
Stuck in a time loop.
And Christopher Lloyd as well, playing the reawakened Fester Adams.
Yes.
He's just
Spoiler
hilarious and energetic, and he also seems to have a really good relationship with the kids, and you can often tell when there's tension between the actors, and in that case I think you can always tell when a child actor feels nervous or if they're inexperienced. Like the Harry Potter films, adorable though they are, and they've become, you know, quite fine actors now, I think you can tell that they were inexperienced and nervous and kind of looking around at the cameras, and that there just wasn't a hint of that with the kids in this. And I think that was probably, a lot of it was down to Christopher Lloyd probably being quite good with them.
Yeah.
And looking after them.
I bet you were a fucking darling, weren't he, when camera were off?
I'm sure he was. And but yeah, they just make a really sort of believable family unit living within this absolutely bonkers house, which somehow feels more welcoming and homely than the over-exaggerated niceness of the outside world. You know, they really go for just stereotypical modern family America. Everyone's happy and nice to see you, and then you got the Addams family,
It's
who
forever
we can relate to
Halloween.
a little bit more. Yeah. I'm actually going to count the house itself amongst the ensemble, I think.
I would.
That's
It's
just
a
as iconic.
character.
Yeah. And then so Values, it introduces Joan Cusack as Debbie Jelinski.
Oh, God,
She plays a serial... She's so good.
So
she plays
good.
a serial killer called the Black Widow.
Debbie! Yeah.
Debbie! So her character is she'll marry wealthy men and then kill them off during the honeymoon. And I think it's a real shame that they didn't...
I thought you were going to say, and I relate to that.
I used to say I wasn't about to say that. But she... It's a shame that, spoiler alert, they do kill her off, because she would have made an absolutely perfect member of the Addams family.
Do you know
what
the trick was? I remember I fucking love Addams Family myself. I've obviously absorbed a lot of information with that. They wanted to cast somebody darker than the Addams Family, like more evil, but they didn't want to make her look evil, and it's perfect because she is darker, isn't she, than the fucking super goths?
I mean, it's insinuated that Gomez has killed people as well in the past.
Yes, but
Didn't they put somebody
it
in
was
a cage?
their choice.
And everything with the family themselves is insinuation.
Yeah.
I love the kind of the turnabout. Obviously, with Values, it's Morticia and Gomez have another child.
Oh God,
And
Hubert.
Yes, and by the Addams Family standards, the child ain't right.
No, because he's got blonde, curly hair.
Yeah, I love that scene where like Gomez is going towards the nursery and there's Morticia sat with the baby, and the room is brightly lit and it's all white and lovely, and he just goes, "Oh my God, it's worse than I thought."
Yeah, the baby's got the blonde hair, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And like, I always talk about that baby bit as well. It's like, it's so stupid because it's like ridiculous when he shoots in the air and he goes to the plane window. He just goes, and then just like drops down again. He does that little baby giggle and just drops down.
But when he goes back to normal, he's got a little moustache.
He looks like a spitting image of Gomez. I think that baby's played by a girl as well, which makes it even more hilarious.
Did you do a little bit of a jumping off? Did you remember the original like plot to Addams Family where Gomez wasn't like a goth or anything, and originally he came to like, I think he came to like audit their house or something like that, or he was from some kind of, this is fact, and he fell in love with Morticia then, and Wednesday and Pugsley weren't his kids. That's mega that, isn't it? That's mega. Like he came, it was like a normal man, and he was like turned into that. Basically, that's
So
on
that's-
the original. Maybe the series rather than the original.
I was going to say
film.
that sounds like the 60s TV series.
Yeah,
that.
I think it was.
Well, they almost kind of touch on that with the. Do you remember in the Addams Family Values and Wednesday makes a boyfriend,
Yes.
and he's kind of like just accepted by the family and becomes one of them.
Yeah.
So maybe that was a nod to that then.
Yeah, it's such a strange thing that I've always remembered. Like Gomez weren't part of the family, and they weren't the Addams family because he's got the name Addams, obviously, because it's a weird surname to have when they all look like that, and you see all the relatives; they're all fucking insane.
It would have to be like Von Finkelstein or something, wouldn't it?
Do you know one person we haven't touched on as well is Carol Strukiken?
As Lurch,
Like, could you not have found a more perfect actor?
Because he looked like the original one, didn't he?
Because he's just he's massive.
Yeah.
And he's just got that frame and that look and that build to
gaunt.
play. Yeah,
I'm
he's just
sure.
the
I'm
perfect,
sure he
like,
played
person
Russian
to play.
basketball. I'm sure he did.
He played. Have you seen? I remember watching Gerald's Game, The Moonlight Man.
Yeah,
fucking scary and weird in that.
Yeah, proper.
Yeah, he's really good in that. Like, just Lurch doesn't really have a lot to do, but I just think that, like, again, he's part of like perfect casting.
He's got
there.
the presence, though, hasn't he? He's the presence.
Yeah, it's like a background character is there, and just
And people call tall people Lurch now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and then we got Peter McNichol and Christine Baranski as Gary and Becky Martin Granger. So they're
that whole sequence in the summer camp is fucking hysterical.
so over the top happy. They're a husband and wife team, and I actually remember leaders like that. Do you remember having to go to the dreaded like summer play scheme?
No.
Yeah, I used to enjoy him.
I had scout leaders like them.
Yeah.
I had priests like them.
So we all know the type then, just completely over the top, happy all the time. They must have all been on drugs, surely. Either that or that when they went home completely crashed.
Well, back in them days, they used to give speed to housewives, so you never know. They might have been on speed.
Just reminded me like the song they do, the Happy Turkey Day song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pugsy just walk up, he's like, "Eat me!"
And the punishment,
That whole scene
the
as well, where
punishment
they
is
take
Stig's
over.
dream. Go and watch Disney
Go watch
films.
Disney films.
And Wednesday comes out and tries to do the smile.
Yeah.
She's
Oh
so
god.
creepy.
Iconic scene. Just
So
really
fucking
struggling.
brilliant.
But yeah, no, they're both brilliant as well, and just both films are so funny, and it's all because of the cast and how well they're acting and how they all kind of bounce off each other, and the tongue-in-cheek humor and the one-liners are all they're just like perfectly delivered. I absolutely love it. Like I said, it's one of my favorite films, I think. And I never really list it either. When somebody asks me, what your favorite films, I never think to put Addams Family, but it's definitely up there.
Yeah,
It's like a proper like retro like feel good film for me.
Yeah,
Which
I
is
always
a
forget
weird
about
thing to say about
Ghostbusters.
such a dark family, but yeah,
When
it's
people say, "What's your favourite film?" And I'm like, "Oh, I forgot about Ghostbusters." It's so similar to you with Addams Family.
Well, like you said, it's a dark family, but they're so wholesome too. They're such a strong family unit.
Yeah, it's just one of those films that if it's on, it's like, okay, I'm sitting down and watching this now.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Fucking
Like,
great film.
it's not a background film. It's you just stop whatever you're doing, you sit and you watch whichever one of them happens to be on, and then you go and watch the alternative.
I mean,
That Mamushka scene as well.
Oh yeah, 9 out of 10 times they always put values on. It must be a rights issue or something like that. You always see values on.
I think that's probably the one ITV has the rights
Yeah,
to.
probably. Yeah, after Jurassic Park, we're going to put values on.
For a 90s double.
Yeah.
My eldest loved it. Like, she literally, like you said, we watched Addams Family 1, and then straight after she's like, "Can we watch the second one?"
Yeah.
So we watched both of them back to back.
Yeah, same in this house, mate.
Yeah.
So good. I would like to see a reboot, but it would have to be spot on. And I think a
There's
good
two
Gomez
animated reboots.
a good Gomez would be Oscar Isaac.
if you haven't got the cast, it'll fail.
Yeah.
Are you actually joking when you say that, Oodles?
Yes.
Right, because you know that he voices him, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's got the look though, doesn't he?
No, I just thought if you'd have said that,
I didn't know. Of
I
course
didn't
I
know.
know.
That would have been just. Yeah, actually, if you look at that cast,
You'll never know.
it would have been. I mean, not obviously Chloe Grace Moretz is too old to play Wednesday, but yeah, I think Charlize Theron and
I
Oscar
didn't-
Isaacs could have been a perfectly good live action.
I didn't
versions.
mind the animated one. It just wasn't the same.
It wasn't very good though. So
I
It
didn't
just
mind
seemed
it.
all a bit sort of goofy, didn't it? And it kind of lost that.
The art,
For
the
funny
art
though it
style
was, it
makes
did
me
have a
look
little.
Oh, the art style's horrible.
Yeah, it makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's something about the fact the way they've drawn Gomez and his eyes are like 15 foot apart. It's just really weird. Whenever they do cartoon characters like that, it just weirds me out. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's like he's done that, but then Festus like an awful bald head with like eyes right next to each other.
Yeah.
And the nose coming out, so it looks like balls and a dick.
Yeah. Yeah. Great choice, though. Absolute smashing choice. Both of them. We'll accept 2 films this time. We'll accept it. So, yeah, we'll move on to Biggie.
Yeah, my choice for this, this kind of came to my head almost straight away when I was thinking of an ensemble movie, and it's True Romance.
Grateful.
I love this movie. It doesn't, for some reason, get talked about a lot these days.
One of my favourites, mate.
But it's such a good film, and the stellar cast is just... Again, even I haven't seen it for years, and I've watched it so many times. But when I went back,
you forget who's in it, don't you?
Yeah, and I just went, "Oh my god!"
Fucking megastars.
Just incredible, considering they all appeared, and they may not have had all the same screen time, but just the fact that all these people appeared in this movie, it's just incredible. So, just for those that are not initiated with this movie, it stars a comic book nerd, an Elvis fanatic, which is Clarence, played by Christian Slater. And the boss of where he works sets him up with a prostitute named Alabama. And he doesn't know that she's a prostitute at this point for his birthday. And she's played by Patricia Arquette. And after a night out on the town, checking out martial art movies, just having a real sort of heart-to-heart about life in general, they almost completely fall in love with this incredible chemistry. Clarence then decides to break the news to her pimp, and ends up killing him. He grabs a suitcase of cocaine on his way out, thinking that it's Alabama's clothing, and then as the two hit the road for California, hoping to have a new life and get rid of this cocaine, the mob are soon after them. Now, we mentioned the cast. I mean, if you're ready,
do them all, because they all need it.
Patricia Arquette, you've got Dennis Hopper playing Christian's dad, Val Kilmer as Elvis.
Oh, yeah.
Gary Oldman as Drexel, the drug dealer.
Gary Oldman, role of a lifetime.
Brad Pitt as Floyd, the stoner.
Oh, God, he's so funny in it.
Christopher Walken as the mob's kind of hitman. Bronson Pinchot as sort of a classic 80s, 90s yuppie. Samuel L. Jackson's in this.
Yep.
Michael Rappaport.
Yep.
Saul Rubinek plays the dick of a director, and he plays it beautifully. James Gandolfini's in this as a hitman.
Fucking hell.
He's not as fat.
Chris Penn, Tom Sizemore, both play detectives. Just there's many, many more background characters that sort of flit in and out of this movie.
Fucking everybody's in it.
Yeah.
It's such an incredible story because, as mentioned, he doesn't realise he's got this cocaine, but he suddenly realises he needs to get rid of it. The mob are after him. It's a chance for them to set up a new life. And the story kind of follows him trying to find a way out of this unfortunate situation. And for reasons unknown, he seems to see Elvis as sort of like his conscience.
It's his spirit animal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of an idea of guidance about what to do in these certain situations. And again, Val Kilmer just appears almost a kind of, not in silhouette form, but you never quite see the full Val Kilmer as Elvis, but it's just the fact he portrays him as Elvis is brilliant. Gary Oldman as Drexel, the drug dealer, is just incredible. It's such a flitting appearance in this movie.
And it's cultural appropriation at its finest.
Yeah, he absolutely nails this nasty character. And there's a great quote where Clarence goes to obviously reveal the news. And basically, Clarence wanted a happy ending. He wanted this to basically say, she's not going to be pimping anymore. He's not going to be pimping his girlfriend anymore. And hopefully he'd be able to give him some money or talk him out of it. But obviously, Drexel's just a nasty piece of work. And he basically cops on straight away that Clarence isn't there to do anything else. He's going to be gunning for him. And on the TV where he's sitting, there's porn.
Yeah.
And as they're chatting away, he basically notices that Clarence has never once looked at the TV when, you know, just as you walk into a room, you're going to obviously see what's happening on the screen. You'd be captivated for a moment. And he goes, now I know I'm pretty, but I ain't as pretty as a couple of titties. And it just sums up his character beautifully because then it all kicks off. And yeah, I won't say more, as you already know, he's killed. Moving on, literally almost straight away, Clarence and Alabama go and visit his dad, played by Dennis Hopper, for a bit of advice, and then off they trot. And then it turns out that the mob are after them, and they go and, obviously work out who this person is and that he's got a father, so they go and visit him. And you have this great scene with Christopher Walken and Dennis Hopper together as Vincenzo is basically interrogating Clifford, trying to work out.
Oh, God, it's so good.
Find out where they've gone. And the tension in the scene.
Don't quote any of them words, though.
No.
Please.
But it's just great, because at the end of the day, Dennis Hopper suddenly realises his character that they're either going to torture him to find out the address, or he may as well just go out fighting. So he completely insults the Italians.
It really does.
It's just their life, their style, everything, the history is just almost summed up in this really...
For me, that's the scene where Tarantino's had a hand in it. I think he wrote it or did the screenplay for it.
He's definitely behind this.
That's the scene that you're like, Tarantino.
The movie's directed by Tony Scott, Ridley Scott's brother, who did quite a few movies as well, quite big ones. But yeah, you really feel the tension in that scene, and then Dennis Hopper realises that he's not going to reveal where his son and
I think for me, it's best scene in film.
It's brilliantly done. It is so good, and Walken and Hopper are superb. They bounce off each other so well.
So good. They're masters at the craft, though. Both of them, aren't they? It's like, boof.
Yeah. And then it then moves on later on. You have Gandolfini, who tracks down the couple, but because Clarence is out trying to sort out a drug deal, Patricia Arquette opens the door, and Gandolfini's in there. And again, this powerful scene of just this. You have this utter fear for Alabama, because Gandolfini's quite a big guy for those that know him from The Sopranos.
He's scarier than Tony Soprano in this.
He is just a nasty piece of work, and you fear for her, but she doesn't put up a fight with him as well. She really just goes toe to toe with this gangster. It's incredible, and fair dues to Patricia Arquette. She just absolutely acted her way through that scene. It was incredible, and I think it's amazing. Very uncomfortable to watch, by the way. But yeah, incredible. Then there's a great bit of comedy with Elliot the yuppie, whilst basically being a yuppie, driving around a sports car. He's got some blonde bimbo, unfortunately to say, in his car.
His words. His words.
He's yakking away on the phone, and then they crash. Coke goes all over his face as he gets arrested.
That gif's quite famous. There's a gif of that. It's all over the internet.
And that's how the cops find out that there's the director involved in potentially being a drug dealer. The mob find out from Brad Pitt. Unfortunately, he accidentally reveals what's going on. But again, his scene in this is fantastic. He plays the stoner really well.
I've said it before, Brad Pitt's a funny actor.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely got a comedy chops. And then, of course, you have Chris Penn and Tom Sizemore as these kind of really crazy cops.
Yeah.
Everything goes terribly wrong, but somehow there's a happy ending at the end of this. But I just thought that amount of actors all appearing in this movie, all knocking their scenes out of the park. It's just a great watch from beginning to end.
It is.
And I think this movie is absolutely classic.
If you dear listener, if you haven't seen this film, if you can get hold of the Blu-ray, there's so much content on that. There's so much that it were quite a troubled shoot, but you can't tell. You cannot tell. There were a lot of scheduling conflicts and stuff, because getting, at that point, some of Hollywood's biggest, getting them all together. And I mean, most of the actors don't even meet each other. You know what I mean? They don't. Their characters don't even cross paths. But it's so good.
Yeah, I mean, again, a lot of these actors don't appear with each other on screen. Yeah. It's only in their
that typical Tarantino style, isn't it? You don't.
They're little snippets, but it's brilliantly done.
Oh yeah,
very similar to Pulp Fiction in a way, isn't it?
Yes, you can tell. You can tell it's
to and front and path, but it's just the way it's situated. But yeah, amazing, love it.
I do, mate. Great pick. Watch True Romance, everybody. Do it. Stig.
All right, I'm going to try to do something here.
Here we go.
Uh-oh.
Acting.
Welcome to Sin City. The town beckons the tough, the corrupt, the broken-hearted. Some call it dark, hard-boiled. Then there are those who call it home. Crooked cops, sexy dames, desperate vigilantes. Some are seeking revenge, Others lust after redemption. And then there are those hoping for a little bit of both. A universe of unlikely and reluctant heroes still trying to do the right thing in a city that refuses to care. Yeah, Sin City.
Yeah. And scene.
You want to put a bit of noir music under
I
that?
hope so. I hope so.
With that mournful saxophone.
Yeah. Just in the background. Oh, yes.
So Sin City, a 2005 film directed by Robert Rodriguez and Frank Miller, is a neo-noir crime anthology produced and directed by Frank Miller, based on Miller's graphic novels of the same name. This stars a cast including Bruce Willis, Jessica Alba, Clive Owen, Mickey Rourke, Rutger Hauer, Benicio del Toro, Alexis Bledel, Michael Madsen, Powers Booth, Nick Stahl, Devon Aoki, Michael Clark Duncan, Rosario
Dawson,
Carla Gugino,
Carla Gugino, I think it is.
Yeah, Gugino,
Yeah.
I think it is.
Gugino, you'll know her if you see her anywhere. Josh Hartnett, Jamie King, Brittany Murphy, Elijah Wood, and Tommy Flanagan, amongst other people, and surprisingly, Nick Offerman.
Yes.
Nick Offerman's in it.
Yes.
Nick Offerman's in it as the schlub. I was looking at him going, I know his face. Who is that? It's one of the just the random schlubs. Like it's called the schlub that Bruce Willis knocks out at the beginning of the film with his bleached blonde hair and
I don't think he has a mustache, does he?
He has a goatee.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
He has a bleached blonde goatee and bleached blonde hair. Yeah, it's this absolute tiny part, but so an absolute stellar cast. And as I said, this is like an anthology film. So it's set in 3 different kind of stories. The Yellow Bastard, which tells the story of Bruce Willis's character John Hartigan trying to stop a child killer, and that's kind of a small story at the start, and that picks up later. So that kind of starts the film and ends the film with his story. The Hard Goodbye is story of Marv, who is this kind of
man with a big chin.
Yeah, down on his luck, kind of nobody who falls in love with a prostitute called Goldie, and she's killed, and it kind of tells a story of him going on a redemption mission.
Yeah, because he's rock hard.
Trying to find out who killed Goldie and everything, and he undercovers this like kind of horrible dark underworld like kind of thing to deal with like the church and things and a reverend. And then the big fat kill, which is Clive Owen's story when Benicio del Toro, Jackie Boy, the abusive ex-boyfriend of Brittany Murphy, turns up. Then he kind of tracks him down and with a group of female assassins kill them and take them out. And it's 3 different stories, but it's the art style which sets this film apart from anything else. It's fucking incredible.
It's beautiful.
It looks gorgeous. It's black and white throughout the most of the film, but there's spots of colour throughout. So there's sometimes the blood is red. You get things like Michael Clark Duncan's like eye is like diamond eye is
glinting,
yellow.
Isn't it?
Yeah, the yellow man, the yellow bastard is like he is full on yellow.
Yeah, he's ugly as hell.
Oh yeah, he's awful. He looks awful. But yeah, just throughout there's just these little dots of colour that's brought in. But then not on top of that is like the blood is really visceral, but it's always unless it's like Marv is the only one that I watched this last night actually. He's the only one I can remember where they actually see the blood as red.
Yes.
Everyone else
same
is
in the
like,
book. It's same in the book.
It's like white, like these splodges of white just like flying all over the screen and like all over the stuff. And so I don't really know how to describe it other than that. Like, there's just this beautiful black and white style.
Have you ever read the comics, graphic novels?
No.
So good.
Because when I heard they were making this, I just laughed because I thought this is ridiculous.
Impossible.
How on earth are they going to do that?
Yeah, I thought so.
But they absolutely nailed it. It's literally almost, in many cases, frame for frame.
Yeah, it's not like Watchmen where he just decided to make his own ending.
yeah.
Which was better.
It nailed that art style incredibly well. I was so impressed. So impressed.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I've seen people say that, obviously, like you just said, adopting a comic book is just, it's a hard thing to do, but they just absolutely nailed it with this one from what you say there. Yeah, I mean, how good is that cast, really? Like, and they all just
huge.
like so many of them are just out of character to watch they usually play.
Elijah Wood.
Like Elijah Wood is just incredible in this. It's this
Terrifying.
awful, creepy little bastard who kills these women, and he just has this.
He was an awful, creepy little bastard in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I was thinking this was his first kind of big film after
that.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have any dialogue in it.
No.
I was going to say, it's not a big part,
He's got
is it?
glasses on, hasn't he? His glasses, you don't see his eyes until you get close up to him.
There's
There's a couple of them because I don't think Devon Aoki has any dialogue either. She's just there to kill nerds with a sword.
No, she does, I think.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, but she's got these like reverse swastika stars that she uses, which is that she's fucking incredible in this. Just like chopping fools left, right, and center.
Oh, absolutely.
I love obviously the noir style of it all. Like obviously all the kind of 50s dialogue with parts of it.
It's better than 300.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which a lot of people put them together because obviously it's Miller books, but 300's art style's more sepia rather than comic.
Well, I think it's also a more iconic art style in Sin City because since like 300, I mean, because they were both technically the first two films to have like the entire production be on green screen.
Yes.
And I think Sin City worked better than 300's a great film, but it's also a Zack Snyder film, and I can't support that.
Yeah, and I think Biggie, you might have to correct me. I'm pretty sure 300 never got a coloured run, did it? It was just black and white. Because I know they re-release them, don't I? know Sin City got a re-release in colour.
Oh, I don't know. I remember it being black and white, but I don't remember it being a colour version. There may have been one.
They always did it. Make a bit more money, innit?
Yeah.
I think this film was probably the start of that little resurgence that Mickey Rourke had as well.
Oh, God, yeah, and I love Mickey Rourke.
He's like unrecognisable in this film. Like,
the makeup for Marv is incredible.
Yeah, like he's that, and he plays the character so perfectly. Like he's absolutely brilliant in this. And yeah, I just honestly I can't fault it. Like I said last night, I was like, I'm just going to watch this again.
Yeah,
like,
scene for scene, there isn't a boring bit. It is a great movie. It's like for me, it's on par with V for Vendetta. I love them both. It's a really good film. But like even like the some of the car scenes kind of looks a bit dodgy CGI wise. Deliberate, innit?
But yeah, it's deliberate. You can completely look past that. You look at it and go, yeah, it looks a bit shonky because maybe it was at the time and the budget and stuff, but it fits so well with the art style and the rest of the world that you don't have to.
Well, it's like Chinatown and stuff like that in the older films where they had them on cars on tracks.
Yeah.
With it. Chinatown is so good.
It is.
With the way they've made the film, with it being all on green screen CGI, you get shots that you couldn't do in a real noir film. Like there's the one, I think it's when it's going into the second part of That Yellow Bastard, and it's Bruce Willis driving forward in a hurry, and the camera like is like above the countryside and just then swoops right down to the front windscreen to look at him. It's like you couldn't do that in a real.
They were just wide shots, weren't they? Instead,
they were just wide shots. Yeah, and it's like stuff like that really sells the comic book nature of it.
Yeah,
like all those shots from like where the camera's like right on the ground and looking right up at someone, or the various boot shots, or even just like silhouetted character. Like having silhouetted characters in a black and white film like that is incredible.
Yeah.
Like I've got Wikipedia open here, and it's a shot of Becky from early on in the film where she's walking down the street and there's a car behind her, and the lights are kind of on her back. You can't see anything of her, or outside the lights, you just see her silhouette and the two lights and a bit of the reflection on the ground. It's beautiful. It's done so well.
Stunning. Yeah, and even like when they do those other kind of silhouettes, it's done with like you say, like it's pure black and white. Yeah. It's not like if I say black and white, you just think the
like grey tones.
Yeah, grey tones. But this is pure. It's a black screen and everything's like done in this comic white. Like the bit with Bruce Willis's story right at the end.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Get it watched on an OLED HDR. I'm telling you that.
Perfect.
Like, I watched the DVD version of it, and even on like there was some adverts on the start of the DVD, which was weird because it's been a long time since I kind of put a DVD.
Long time since I've seen an advert.
And and the adverts just look shit. And I was sat there going, "Oh, is this going to look really bad?" Because it's been a long time since I put it in. Nope. It's from 2005. Nope. Yeah. Still looks amazing even on that. And yeah, like everything about it is just stunning. Yeah. Really, from the script to the acting to the to the way it looks. There's only one minor kind of quibble in this day and age is it's very leery.
Yes.
Yeah,
Very,
I
very
that.
leery.
Jessica Alba, by any
Yeah, I
chance?
was going to say
Not
Jessica
just
Alba's-
her, but
Every woman.
every woman
Every
in
woman in it. And there's a lot of white knight in as well, which is a bit like...
it. Yeah, it's like all three stories are kind of like told from a male
Women in peril.
Oh, definitely.
doing something because a woman in peril,
Well, again,
because of fridging and stuff like that. But that's all based on the
was
comic.
like that.
And
It
like the
was.
comic, it's a bit...
Is there one location called like Whoretown
Yes.
or something like that?
Yeah. Like, even the men, though, the men are caricatures. They're not like, these aren't real men. Like,
No, they're
kind of thing,
ultra
you know what I mean?
masculine,
Like,
aren't they?
yeah, exactly. It's all told kind of this ultra comic book style.
Yeah.
So you can kind of maybe
It
get
is
away with
fantasy
it like
as
that.
fuck.
But
It's fantasy.
yeah, but it's just literally all like even the female assassins are all like high boots, fishnets, tights, barely anything on, and whatnot. So
You can go too far in other direction, though, like Sucker Punch. You know what I mean? You can go too far.
yeah,
Zack
it's not
Snyder
that bad.
again.
It's not that
It's not
bad.
that
I
bad.
don't think. Yeah, it almost fits with the world.
Yeah.
I feel like I've given it a pass because it kind of fits with the world and the style. more
And
than anything.
warning to everyone, Sin City 2, not good.
I've
No,
never watched
it is
it.
not.
It's not
And
It
good.
is not.
Some of the stories in it are made up.
And what's annoying, what annoyed me was I really wanted a sequel, and they kept saying, "Oh, we're going to do a sequel." I just think they just left it too long. If they'd got a sequel
Yeah, there was
out,
a massive gap.
if
I
they
remember that.
9 years, something like that. If they'd have got a
Yeah.
sequel out like 2 or 3 years down the line, while people are still buzzing off this,
The thing is,
It'd have been much better.
There's more Sin City material that exists, but in the Sin City 2, they just made their own little shitty
yeah,
stories.
they brought back like characters that had been
Yeah,
killed, like
yeah.
telling more stories about them. No, just should just done new characters, new things, but in Sin City.
Yeah.
The Spirit is probably the closest thing you would get to
Awful.
a sequel to it.
Awful.
It's
It's one of the worst
I
films
remember
I've
going
ever
to see The
watched.
Spirit and being like, "Oh, yes, this is the successor to Sin City. Like it's the same
Yeah.
style. It's like
It's
the same,
so bad.
same people and everything." And like got there, I was like, "That was fucking wank."
I actually didn't mind it.
I
Hated
didn't
it.
mind it,
I
but
haven't
it's
seen
not
it.
a patch on Sin City.
Oh, no,
if
for
you want to
sure.
watch something like comic booky and pulpy, watch Sky Captain and The World of Tomorrow. That's really good. A lot of people.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
That's a nice pulpy one as well.
My favorite line, I'll leave on this one from Sin City, is he says, "She doesn't quite chop his head off. She makes a Pez dispenser out of him."
Oh, making look like Zippy from Rainbow.
Oh, bungo!
Oh, George. Oh God, love it, brilliant, absolutely. And it's one of those another one of those films that I just forget that it's there, and it needs
same
to
here.
be.
Oh.
It's in my collection. I've got it on DVD. It's just
I couldn't tell you the last time I watched it, and then when we were doing this, I was like,
fuck yeah.
"Yeah," I was like, "Oh my god, Sin City!" And then last night, I swear out, it's like midnight, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm going to watch
I'm
it."
doing
again.
it.
So I
I'm
was up till
doing
like
it.
2:15 in the morning watching this film. So I thought, I need to watch this again before I talk about it.
Yeah.
So,
Excellent, good pick. Moving on to me, and we're gonna go. How now, brown cow? We're gonna talk about Anchorman: The Legend of Ron Burgundy.
Hey.
My money, the best Judd Apatow film. A lot of people
Yeah,
would disagree.
no.
A lot of people
No.
think Superbad's his best.
I fucking hate Superbad.
I just,
That's incredible.
it's a good film.
No,
so good.
It's a good film.
No,
It loses its way towards the end a little
Yeah.
bit, but like it's still great.
So for me, I don't know about in your world. This was the first Apatow I watched. This what came before 40-Year-Old Virgin, Knocked Up, the stupidly long Knocked Up. I'm sure it's like 3 hours long.
Yeah,
That is a
Yeah.
3-hour film.
You're right.
Superbad,
It wasn't very
Step
good.
Brothers. This is an ensemble and a half. 'Cause playing Ron Burgundy, we've got Will Ferrell at the height of feral mania. He was absolutely feral, wasn't he? Paul Rudd, Christina Applegate, Steve Carell in a role of a lifetime. He's fucking brilliant.
He is good.
I love Lamp. We've got Chris Parnell, Fred Armisen, Fred Willard, Danny Trejo, Luke Wilson, Ben Stiller, Jack Black, Will Smith for a second, and then
I was saying most of those are only
basically
for a minute or so.
everyone from Hollywood for a second. That's what I want to talk about now. That scene where the news teams get together
Yeah.
and they have.
Oh yes, the scene that escalates quite wildly.
Yeah, it's like West Side Story, but with news teams.
I kill a man with a trident.
Yeah, you need to leave the country for a while.
I just love that top-down shot when you can see them all charging in. There's the one dude that just falls over immediately.
Yeah.
No touching of the hair or the face.
The thing,
Yeah.
the main reason I picked Anchorman is because it's one of my all-time. I'm not massively into American comedies, but this has got quite a British Python-esque edge to it.
Yeah.
It's very surreal.
And that's what I like about it. It's as if Apatow's gone right. I'm picking stuff that I watched as a kid, and a lot of these like American directors watched like Monty Python and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? You can see that influence there. This is not a stoner comedy, which is what a lot of his are. This is like pure surrealism.
It also I'm not 100% sure, but it's also it seems to be broadly not improvised.
Yes,
Like a lot of Judd Apatow's films, there is a level of improvisation.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I don't like Superbad, because Jonah Hill's improvisation in it annoys the piss out of me throughout. This one, because they're having to play these kind of very set characters and it's very set gags. I really
there's a
enjoy
script
it more
there.
than. Yeah, I enjoy it more than a lot of other Apatow films.
If you watch the outtakes,
They must have done some improvisation.
There is.
They got a whole other film out of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is. But it was.
I think it's mostly Brick's dialogues improvised. It's just the strange shit that Steve Carell's coming out with.
I watched the making of it today as well, and it's not that there weren't improvisation allowed. It's just there was. This is the A scene. This is B scene. This is of the same scene.
Yeah.
They just let them do rather than just go with it. Whatever's funny, we'll have.
Hit the best
Yeah,
one.
it was like that, and that's why they got a whole nother a film out of it. It's like 1.5 or something silly like that.
It's not as good.
Not as good,
unfortunately,
but they didn't put it out in cinema or anything. They weren't lying to you. Anchorman 2. Whew.
Oh, that was bad.
Oh.
That was really bad. I couldn't make it
that
through
was
the
last
whole thing.
week's show. Oodles.
Yeah, that's
dropping
not
quality.
a good film. Anchorman, if you've not watched, I'm not going to describe everything that happens. It's about Ron Burgundy. He's an anchorman. If you don't know what that means, he's a newsreader. And that man is just intolerable. Literally, like when I would warm up for podcasts, I quote him.
He's kind of a big deal, though.
He is a big deal.
He is.
I quote him to warm up. I mean, it's what everyone does it now, like the teleprompter thing. That the famous, like whatever's written on the teleprompter, you will say it.
When I first met you in the Discord at TCGS, you were introduced as Oodles, who's kind of a big deal around here.
Look at me now.
He made that up himself.
Yeah, but everyone jumped on it. If I was successful and I had many leather-bound books, I could be a Ron Burgundy because I live in a fantasy world as well.
Yeah,
It's so quotable, though, isn't it? That film, like
just
literally, you
so
can quote something from anywhere in that film.
I think every single scene is iconic, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was just laughing because I was thinking, do you remember the network scouts, and they're stood there like talent scouts watching a football match, and they're just watching people reading the news. They've got like clipboards and everything.
See what I love Paul Rudd's character in it.
Oh, God,
because he's so sleazy and so silly. But it's when he's in Ron Burgundy's office and he's saying, I'm going to use it. It's called Sex Pan.
Yeah.
He opens the box. opens the box for the aftershave. And goes,
Oh, God, it's so good.
Sex Pan.
That's after he opens London Gentlemen.
Yeah.
60% of the time it works every time.
This is one with Christina Applegate. In
Yeah.
it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sure, she's
And she's phenomenal.
Veronica Cornerstone.
I just remember her from Friends, and I love Friends, but I wasn't a massive fan of her character
She's
in that, if I'm
incredible
perfectly
in this.
honest. But yeah, that sort of chemistry
anything,
between her and
she
Will Ferrell.
steals the show when
She was really
every
good.
scene she's in Anchorman. She's brilliant. And then
when they have
She's
that,
play-
when they
she's
have that
playing the
bus
straight
stop
man.
in the
Oh,
office.
God, yeah.
They're just shouting insults back at each other. It's so good.
So funny. So
Smelly
funny.
pirate hooker.
it's like one of like everyone's favourite scenes. Jack Black kicking Baxter off at bridge.
I thought I couldn't breathe laughing at that.
You destroyed something I love. Now this is happening.
And then he's in a glass cage of emotion drinking milk. It's really sad. Oh god, it's just so.
I'm actually starting to realise how much I do quote Anchorman without realising.
Oh yeah,
because I say glass cage of emotion all the time when I'm being over the top.
Anchorman is for me this is why I love the American Office over the English one, because there's some of that in it. There's some of that in it, and I love it. It's I know it sounds pathetic, but it's quintessentially British style humour done with an American budget, and it works fucking incredible. And I think that's all I'm going to say on it. It's just a great ensemble, but I want you to put Afternoon Delights on for the listeners, please.
Ooh,
I think we need it.
You really want to know what love is?
Yeah. Yes, tell us.
More than anything in the world, Ron. Well, it's really quite simple. It's kind of like... Gonna find my baby, gonna hold her tight, gonna grab some afternoon delight. My motto's always been, when it's right, why wait until the middle of a cold, dark night? When everything's a little clearer in the light of day. And we know the night is always gonna be here anyway. Thinking of you's working up my appetite. Looking forward to a little afternoon delight. Rubbing sticks and stones together, making sparks ignite. And the thought of loving you is getting so exciting. Sky rockets in flight. Woo! Afternoon delight. Whoop. You guys have it, I think. Afternoon delight.
That question mark at the end of the teleprompter was superb.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
I just love that.
Well,
so
that's
much.
the great setup. But it's the delivery later on. Fuck you, San Diego.
So good. Yeah, but don't watch the sequel, guys. Don't worry about it. It's unnecessary.
It's only got one film. There isn't a sequel to it.
Yeah. It makes characters like strong characters like Veronica. He puts her on the back burner. Makes her not the straight person anymore. Which that's what they were riffing on. Yeah. There's a weird thing with a dolphin or something, isn't there? Something like that.
I turned it off about the time that they crashed the RV.
Yeah, it's like Zoolander 2.
I can't remember anything from Anchorman 2, genuinely. Like the first film, I can remember everything, quote it endlessly.
The only
Second
good
film,
thing in Anchorman 2 is the chicken of the cave. When he's got the bats.
I don't even remember that.
He's got deep fried bats.
Nothing.
It's so funny, that bit.
Nope, don't remember that.
Because it's not that good. Anchorman 1 is a 10 out of 10 comedy. It's a 10 out of 10 comedy. If you listen to this and you haven't watched it in ages, you're going to appreciate it again. Because
it's also, for me, it's the one film that I think that, well, of his comedy films, that Will Ferrell is not playing Will Ferrell.
Oh, no, he's not.
He's genuinely acting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, most of Will Ferrell's career, whether it was Elf, Step Brothers, Old School, whatever, he was just riffing on that kind of persona he had in Saturday Night Live.
Big man shouting.
Big man shouting.
Yeah,
Whereas
I'm
this,
not
he was
a
like,
massive fan of him, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, he nails it.
This he's playing Humphrey Bogart. He's playing old school straight actors from.
He's also like unrecognizable as Ron Burgundy.
His hair's incredible.
Like the wig and the mustache are fantastic.
Did you ever see him play Robert Goulet in Saturday Night Live?
Yes.
That's the only thing that kind of reminds me a little bit of Ron Burgundy of previous characters.
It's there,
which is also hilarious as well.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, if you've not seen it, guys, just pop it on and enjoy your afternoon delights. Telling you.
You know what? As well, it's one of those mid-2000 comedies that it's fine for its age. Like, it's not one of those ones it hasn't aged.
No, it
badly,
hasn't.
Do you know what I mean?
There's words in it, but it's played for reasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but there's nothing in there like you're not looking at like American Pie kind of style and thinking, this is troubling now. Like, it's none of that. And
no,
it's 2004. I think it came out as well. So
yeah.
Unless you're offended by men getting killed by tridents, you'll like it. On a horse.
God, that scene is just... It escalates and escalates. And
so other day, my son was watching YouTube, and do you know how they do like Minecraft parodies of film scenes and stuff? There was an Anchorman this scene done on Minecraft.
Fucking hell.
And I was like, they used all the dialogue, and my son's like, what's this? I went, you're not ready for this yet. But when you are, son, it's going to be incredible. It's going to be,
And then, my son, you shall be a real man.
Then my boy, you'll be a real man. Oh, get Anchorman, guys, get it watched. Gadget, take us home.
Okay, so I'm going to come in with I mean, we've had some strong ensembles here. We've had some strong casts, but I think I'm going to come in with one of the best casts in terms of value for money.
Ooh.
Because the film I'm talking about had a budget of $40 million. Only $40 million in 2019.
That's what we get a month on Patreon.
I know, right?
Fucking wish.
I haven't seen any of that money.
Yeah, you didn't sign the contract.
Anyway, the film I'm talking about is Rian Johnson's probably magnum opus, Knives
I
Out.
thought you were going to say Star Wars.
I could have said that. I like that film. But yeah, no, Knives Out I'm talking about.
I love Knives
So
Out.
for your $40 million, you get a cast consisting of Daniel Craig, Chris Evans, Ana de Armas, Jamie Lee Curtis, Michael Shannon,
Love Michael Shannon.
throwback to the 80s himself, Don Johnson,
Wow.
Toni Collette,
Yeah.
Lakeith Stanfield, Catherine Langford, Christopher Plummer, and Frank Oz,
Frank Oz.
of all people.
Yoda
Frank Oz is in
himself.
it. Yes. And so I'm not going to go through the plot.
Yeah,
of Knives
disclaimer,
Out,
I've
but
never
I'm
seen it.
Okay, well, it's
Yes, you
a
have.
whodunit.
I haven't, have I?
Yeah, honestly, I keep. You
Have we
in
chatted
check,
about
check,
this?
mate. Yeah,
Yeah, we have talked about Knives Out before.
if it weren't for me, you'd forget.
Tell me what it
everything
is
you
and it'll
did, I think.
remind me what it is.
Daniel Craig's the detective with the Texan accent.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
Great accent.
Sounds like Foghorn
yeah.
Leghorn.
Fuck, yeah.
So I'm
Sorry.
not going to go through the whole plot because obviously that's
There's
spoiler
been
city.
foul
And
play.
if you haven't seen it, you need to see
Yeah, it
this
is
film
good.
because it's fucking incredible. But I'll give you the first paragraph from Wikipedia. So the family of Harlan Thrombey, a wealthy mystery novelist, attends his 85th birthday party at his mansion. The next morning, Harlan's housekeeper Fran finds him dead with his throat slit. The police believe Harlan's death to be a suicide, but private detective Benoit Blanc is anonymously paid to investigate. Blanc learns Harlan's relationships with his various family members were strained on the day of his death. Harlan threatened to expose his son-in-law Richard for cheating on his daughter Linda, cut off his daughter-in-law Joni's allowance for stealing from him, fired his son Walt from his publishing company, and had an altercation with his grandson Ransom.
Yeah, I think I've seen
And
this.
That's yeah. That's the setup for it. And I when we were talking about this about doing ensembles, it's the one ensemble I always came back to because everybody's perfect in it. There's not a bad part played. Slightly dodgy accent on Daniel
I
Craig.
think it's funny, though.
I love the accent.
Yeah.
I love the accent.
Funny.
It's called
I
out in
hated
the
it at
film
first,
too.
but it grew on me very quickly.
It's funny.
Well, yeah. By the time you get to the end of the film and you get like the reveal of who done it, like you're fully in with him. You're not hearing that
Yeah.
accent anymore. But the first first couple of times he opens his mouth, you're like, "Hang on, that's
Yeah.
James Bond."
Yeah.
But it's the cast themselves. Everyone is obviously all the main members of the cast have a reason to have killed their grandfather or to have killed Harlan.
Pure Agatha Christie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely, everyone's a suspect. You also have Harlan's nurse Marta, who is that Ana de Armas' character?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Ana de Armas' character. Yeah, who might know things, but she's incapable of lying. Every time she tries to lie, she vomits, which Benoit Blanc takes on as a rather curious thing to help him get towards the truth. And most of the film takes place around Harlan's mansion. You've got the characters kind of coming in and out, and you've got Benoit Blanc just kind of observing or talking and kind of slowly piecing things together. There's a couple of red herrings in there to throw you off. And then it's kind of after things kind of leave the mansion and come back to it, and you get the reveal, and like you've got Daniel Craig just stand there like doing a Columbo or a Poirot, just like pontificating and just giving you the answer.
It's very
just like,
Poirot.
Holy shit. It's very Poirot. And you just sit there and think, holy shit, I would not have put any of this together, but it all makes sense.
Yeah, it's not like Sherlock Holmes on BBC.
No, he's not solving it in his head. Like, and it's the skill of Rian Johnson as a writer. He literally everything that Benoit picks up on, you can see in the film if you watch it a second time. But because of how skilled the actors are and how clever the directorial misdirection is, you don't notice it at first, and it becomes a great reveal at the end. But there's a line in it which Harlan himself says before he dies, and it's something like, I think it's the person who kills me won't know the difference between a stunt knife and a real knife.
Mm.
And that kind of comes in as part of the ending, and it's fucking brilliant when you realize it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I absolutely love it. I think it's an absolutely stunning film. And I still can't believe that they got that cast and it was only a $40
Oh,
million
yeah,
production.
totally.
What it'll be?
It's shown from
it'll-
different. Certain scenes are shown from a different viewpoint, aren't they? So you get the same scene kind of played depending on the viewpoint, and it's brilliant.
a proper
connected so
like
well.
a proper like professional actor. They read a script, and if they love that and they've got passion, they are not bothered with what they're getting paid.
No, they
Oh
won't.
yeah, and I know, but it's still like, I mean, you know, Daniel Craig, Jamie Lee Curtis, Michael Shannon, Don Johnson, they're all massive hitters. Chris
Daniel
Evans as
Craig
well,
gets paid
obviously, the
$50
MCU.
million a Bond.
Exactly, yeah. Like, I know he can command stuff like that, so it's the fact that it is such a small budget production.
Yeah, you love to see it though. You love because they are auteurs in their little craft, aren't they? They are.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, I don't know why I didn't think it were called Knives Out, but I know I've seen it.
I also really like that Chris Evans is playing against type because
Yes, I
his
was gonna
character
say.
Ransom is a massive dickhead. He's a bell end for
And
the
he's
ages.
America's ass.
You could just tell that he's like, all right, I've spent the last decade being the good guy,
The
being
goodest
like-
guy.
the goodest of good guys.
Yeah.
So the next film he just comes off, it's like, I am going to be an absolute twat. And you can tell how much he's enjoying it as well.
You could see the smile on his face where he's got that scene where he's like, okay, and fuck you, fuck you,
yeah,
fuck you,
eat
and
shit,
fuck
eat
you.
shit.
I mean,
That's it, eat shit, sorry, not fuck
Chris
you.
Evans, Chris
Yeah,
Evans is
storms
a good
out.
bastard. He's a bastard in Sunshine. I mean, more of a career man. He's a bastard in Scott Pilgrim. He's a good bastard.
Oh, he does bastard very well. Yeah, but like Jamie Lee Curtis's character as Linda, she's the eldest daughter of Harlan, and it's almost like she's got like a kind of like matriarch of the wider family kind of thing going on. She's almost like leading everybody. You get these great scenes where you see her kind of on her own, like obviously processing the fact that the character's father's died. And like she kind of falls to bits a little bit, and it's so much pathos and so much skill in these like very small scenes.
Jamie Lee Curtis can do
with
no
very little
wrong.
dialogue. Oh, she's absolutely perfect in it.
And I think my only concern about this movie is because it was so good, and they've already talked about getting
show
Daniel
out, man.
Craig
They're doing a
to
show.
do some more.
No. So Netflix
done.
have bought the rights for 2 sequels.
It's confirmed.
So
isn't it?
film.
I just
Yeah.
I just
it's
hope
been
they
filmed.
can-
Oh, right.
It's done, yeah.
I just hope they can capture that same magic with another. You know, they're obviously
I'm
not going to be the same
going to reel
people,
off the
so
cast
another
here. I've
cast.
got it here.
Do
So
it.
Netflix bought it for $450 million for
Whoa!
the rights to have. So yeah, budget
Oh,
of
it's a hell of a cast.
So it's got Daniel Craig, obviously,
Yep.
Dave Bautista, Ethan Hawke, Kate Hudson, Ed Norton, Catherine Hahn, Leslie Odom Jr., who you know if you're into Hamilton, and Janelle Monáe.
Wow.
So yeah,
That's a strong cast.
some very big hitters.
And this is a
there as
show
well.
rather than a film.
No, it's a film.
Oh, just a Netflix film. Okay.
Netflix film.
Yeah,
Yeah,
The
And it's
first
been
good
filmed-
Daniel Craig
Netflix
got-
film.
so much money. They give so much money. It's been filmed. It was filmed in Greece. So it's
Wow.
set in-
Oh.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
He got a phenomenal amount for it, didn't he? Daniel Craig, he got over 100 million to film the next 2.
Yeah, I turned it down that role. So
Oh, just looking
Yeah,
at,
if
I'm
they-
just
if they
looking
can
at some
capture that,
screenshots here, and Ethan
super.
Hawke's character looks like a fucking bellend.
but he does play a bell end well.
He does.
Yeah, I mean, I've got really high hopes for Knives Out too. But even if it's shite, Knives Out 1 is incredible.
Exactly.
It's one of the
we've
best
got
films of the
magic
last
there,
10
haven't we?
years.
Yeah.
And it's also because you don't see whoDoNit films.
I love them.
Like-
I love them.
Totally.
know what?
Totally.
Mystery thrillers used to be such a reliable bank. Like the only one I can think of was the remake of Murder on the Orient
Yeah,
Express, which was
Branagh, wasn't it?
another ensemble cast, but it was Kenneth Branagh did it. It had Johnny Depp in it, and it was just overblown. And
Yeah, not so good.
not that interesting. And
I don't
obviously
want to see.
everyone's
I don't want to
read
see Johnny Depp, Agatha
Murder on the
Christie.
Do you know
Express,
what?
so you
I
don't
was
need
just
it.
about to say, I didn't know the ending. So I was
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Oh,
because I remember listening to Commode and Mayo, and they would talk about it. And they went, everyone knows who the killer is.
Yeah.
And they were just about to talk about it. I just took my headphones off. I was like, no.
You've
I've
never read it?
I've never read it, and I've never watched any of the films.
we
So I
did
was
it
like,
at school, I think.
yeah. And then he's done Murder on the Nile as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's coming out.
Oh.
Another massive cast in that as well.
Bring them back. I love a whodunit. I love it.
Yeah.
One room mainly. Get all of the and that's why I like about 8 for Late. 8 for Late's a really good whodunit.
Hateful Eight. Yeah.
Oh God, it's so good.
Yeah, well, and again, yeah, like you say, One Room, like that's one of the kind of strengths Knives Out has is a lot of it is focused around like Harlan's study, which is where you've got that kind of iconic shot of that board of knives.
Yeah.
He's a murder mystery writer. So yeah, like everything's like that's where Benoit's interviewing people, and you get almost that Tarantino style of directing where like you'll be interviewing someone, and then you get a little bit of their story, and then you'll be interviewing the next person, you get a little bit of their story.
We need to go on a Modern Escapism Whodunit evening. Oh, we need to do it.
That's so much fun.
We need to do it. You know, when you all dress up and stuff and you go to a hotel.
Yeah, but everyone knows
Oodles did it.
Stig is sus.
Yeah,
isn't he?
Stig's
Oh,
the
Stig
killer.
is sus.
No, I think when you
No, Biggie's the killer. Biggie's the one that's killed us the most.
I think when you go to them, they hand you like a secret thing, and you're the one, aren't you? You don't know until you get there. It's like, oh.
Well, yeah, you get a character sheet. Yeah.
And I'm going to be Mama Juju.
Okay.
Office quote. It's an office quote.
I know.
Do you know what about murder mysteries, actually? It just reminded me, we've obviously been watching Schitt's Creek, and there's an episode where Twyla's trying to set up the murder mystery. And, like, the whole episode is, like, centered around them trying to sort this murder mystery out. And then you never see it.
Yeah.
And the episode ends, and it just made me laugh. I was like, that's funny, because you just don't see any of it.
I read a novel about 5 years ago and it's all like it sounds weird and it's quite meta. It's a novel about someone writing a whodunit novel. I'll find it out and I'll pop it in Discord. Oh god, it's so fucking good. It's like sometimes when often maybe not Agatha Christie, but when they do a whodunit, they don't know who it is until they get to that scene and they write it, and then they've got to like passively decipher why it's them rather than I went in with knowledge it with them. I think it's fucking wild.
I'll tell you what's a
You know
good...
what? The House of Haunted Hill kind of, in its own way, is like a...
Which I think,
whodunit.
and I might be wrong on this, I think that's a Lovecraft rip-off.
No.
I think it
Is
is. It's not like a cosmic horror one. I'm sure he did a short story like that.
Do you know what one I enjoyed, actually, with recent years? It was a TV show, and then there were none.
Yeah.
I think BBC did it's like a 4
Yeah,
or
I've heard
5
about
part or
it,
something
yeah.
of it. That was really good.
I know Sky Atlantic have got a few whodunit type series on at the moment as well. I'm glad they're coming back because it's. I mean, I'm not saying necessarily cheap to make, but it's
They're just compelling. watching.
it's dialogue. I love a dialogue.
Anything that keeps you guessing as well, I quite like that.
Yeah.
Because you're constantly going, oh yeah, I think it's that on this.
Yeah.
And then, if the reveal turns out to be something you haven't guessed, you're like, yes.
Can I also
just
recommend
blows your
Peter
mind.
Sellers and Shot in the Dark?
Oh, yeah.
the Panther movie.
Yeah.
Which is one of the best reveal scenes ever as he tries to explain who the murderer is. It's just incredible. That.
And I will say to kind of close off on Knives Out, when me and Pip watch things, Pip is terrible for kind of foreguessing what's going to happen. And she's quite perceptive. She usually gets it right. She didn't get it for Knives Out.
I had no clue what it was going to be.
I didn't.
I went to
You had
see.
no clue you watched it.
I just didn't know it was called Knives Out. I remember the poster though, where it says
I went to see
Knives
Dark
Out in
Knight
big
Rises with Pip at a midnight showing.
Did she get?
And it got
That's
towards
Batman.
the end. Well, it was getting towards the end, and she sort of leant over to me, conspiratorial. She's like, "Is that Robin?" I was like, "No, don't be so stupid." It was.
She's like, "You should use your original name. It's so much nicer, Robin." Get out of it, Nolan. Get up.
Anyway, yes, that's Knives Out.
Great pick. And that's us done with our main topic. So I want to know what everyone else thinks is a great ensemble. So have you got your little ensemble sack down there?
I have, and it's a little one this week. We only had a few responses.
Squeeze them out,
but
then.
they're all quality. Leroy Francisco's come in saying, Train Spotting.
Oh, yeah.
Renton, Spud, Sick Boy, Begbie, Tommy, and Kelly MacDonald. Just had to look up her character's name. It's Diane. All these characters were perfectly played. I remember I had the poster with them all on my room as a teenager.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it was quite a popular poster for teenagers in the 90s.
And T2 were good as well.
I liked it too.
I did.
Yeah,
Stupid name though.
Brave name.
Yeah.
What, to put it in contention with Terminator 2?
Yeah, everyone, like,
20 years later.
T2 down as anything.
You'd be very confused if you got
If you
them.
put T2 down in a conversation, like you're typing it out or saying it's to someone, like everyone knows that's Terminator 2, don't they?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I love it.
Super Natty Cat has come in saying, I would say the original season cast of Final Space. I think is a Netflix
No
animation.
idea.
I don't know this.
Avocato, Gary, Little Cato, Hugh, and KVN. I love the bants.
Yeah.
And the fact that KVN is just super annoying and that Gary is a little bit of all of us. The bromance ship between Gary and Avocato is so beautiful. My favourite bit is when they have to walk through a tunnel of electric fences without alerting any guards. They're all getting electrocuted and they have to stay quiet, leading my favourite expression of anguish I've ever heard. Tough titty wombas.
My mum used to say, when I used to like, I want that, my mum used to say, well, tough titties, you're not having it. She used to say that to me all the time. Wow.
And last up, Angry Kurt saying, my pick isn't from any kind of fiction, and I don't even like one of them that much.
Kurt, honestly.
My pick is the original Top Gear threesome and now of Grand Tour fame, Jeremy Clarkson, James May, and the one I don't like, Richard Hammond. What's wrong with Richard Hammond? He's
why
lovely.
do you not
He's
like
nature.
the one that you shouldn't like as much?
Why are you not on board with the problematic one that punches people?
Oh.
In the early Top Gears, before it became too scripted, the show and the dynamic was really great and often really funny.
I agree with that.
You could tell that they were mates having an amazing time, and they carried the show to a point where you didn't have to be into cars to find the show entertaining. Even though I found some of the later series and the Grand Tour too scripted at times, the dynamic has always remained really good. I'll agree with that. Like some of the later seasons of Top Gear before.
You can't
the
argue
incident.
with a Top Gear or a Grand Tour special.
Oh, the Bolivia special is still hands down one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Bolivia.
The Bolivia one. Like where they start off with the cars on a raft in the Amazon, they have to try and get it off.
Swear,
do you know what? I haven't
those
seen
are
it's
incredible.
Vietnam and
those are so good.
Vietnam's
Those are so good. And I were never into cars when late teens, early 20s when the cast the gelled, because I'm sure it was chuffing what's his name, Noel Edmonds before them. Sure it was. I'm sure he used to do Top Gear.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Well, that was when it was like a proper magazine show. Like Jeremy Clarkson would have a review that week.
And when it became the threesome of fucking
the threesome of fucking.
yeah, I didn't have I just didn't know what to say.
Can't live the pod?
No, it's not. But at first, I really like. I'm with Kurt on that one. I liked it more at the beginning when it just and then it just turned into this. It just repeated jokes started happening, but then the specials always come out. You're like, yes, this is what I'm here for.
Yeah. So some of the specials are fantastic. Like the one where they had to go. It was one of the Christmas ones where they had to go to Bethlehem.
Oh God, yeah.
Drive across like Iraq and Jordan and but then some of them have got really weak. Like one of the recent Grand Tour ones. I mean, lockdown. I guess that was the best they could do given lockdown. Yeah. But like the Madagascar one was shite. They were on one road for the whole thing.
I didn't like that one either.
And it was bullshit. But then they've had really there's one where they go on an American holiday in RVs.
Oh God!
And like Clarkson puts a steering wheel up on the top, so he's like a yacht.
Yeah,
and doesn't realize when he's driving through the desert, like the metal gets really.
I wish
hot
I wish I could like Clarkson more, because I can get why people do like him, because he's a bit of an anarchist, but I don't like him.
No, he's just a massive arsehole.
Yeah.
He's an idiot.
I do like him, and I know that I shouldn't, because he kind of stands for everything that I don't like in a person, but he's just kind of like a blustering dad, I think.
Yeah.
Not that my dad's anything like Jeremy Clarkson, I just put it out there. He's a very nice chap. But I can't not like Clarkson.
I think it might be the blue jeans, brown leather ensemble that he's got, that he wears, sometimes puts me off.
I think generally the more famous he became and popular in that respect, the
dickish
worse
he
he got.
Yeah.
You know, he got too big for his boots.
I find Clarkson tolerable about 50% of the time.
Perfect, yeah.
I like this. I like the stuff where he's done something to whatever car, and he'll sit and turn the cameras. My genius is unparalleled, or something like that. Like that stuff where he's generally happy with what he's doing. It's when, like I said when I talked about lockdown a few weeks ago, he says, yes, we're into McScotland now. It's like, you don't need to make that joke.
Yeah.
He makes a lot of really obvious, probably annoying jokes for people. Like he punches down a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think that's the stuff I don't like about Clarkson. But I really like Richard Hammond. I don't know what Kurt's
I like
problem
James
with
May
it
when he went to Tokyo. Remember that?
Yeah, that was good.
So good.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, Kurt, you need to...
James May in general, just it's anytime he's doing something again, you hear, oh, cock.
James May is just a lovely mum, isn't he? That's what he is.
It's like mum and dad, an annoying teenager.
Yeah. But yeah, Kurt, you need to reassess your valuations on the trifecta of Top Gear. Trust me, mate.
But that's the mailbag.
Kurt.
Well,
I have to call one of our listeners out.
Uh-oh.
Your mate, Bobby Wayne.
Uh-oh. Call him out. Bring it on.
Twice now. I'm going to email in the show.
Oh,
There's
yes.
no
he did
email,
say that,
Bobby.
didn't
He's probably sending it to the wrong email address. He's a bit of a boomer.
Come on, crack on.
Bobby, you're on the bench. You're in the sin bin. Honestly. Ugh. But is that the sack emptied?
That is the sack thoroughly emptied. It's all over the place.
Excellent. So what we're going to do now, a little bit of the old socials and a little sneak peek of what we're going to be doing next week.
So yeah, as always, you can visit our new website, modernescapism.co.uk. On there, you can find a link to all of our social media and of all of our contact details as well. Now, from October, new bit of exciting news, we will be launching our little merch section.
What?
Yeah, you'll be able to get T-shirts and aprons and hats and cups and anything you can possibly think of that you can brand,
Condoms.
we'll have on there.
What? Did you just say again?
Condoms.
Not yet,
One
but
size
we're working
fits
on it.
all.
Apart from Biggie.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously.
So you'll be able to find that as a link on our website from, I think we're going to aim for probably October the 1st. So by the time you hear this, it'll be a couple of days away.
You want to spend that
If you're listening
Halloween
on
money,
release date.
guys? Spend it on us.
I mean, this episode comes out on the 30th, so it'll be tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
time.
Around payday too for most people. Just saying. If you have any comments, you can either tweet at us or email us at modernescapismpod@gmail.com, or you can join us on our lovely, lovely Discord server. And thanks to Discord, I also started watching the Squid Game as well this week. So if you need any suggestions, it's just absolutely banging on there.
Cool.
Good discussion all the time. If you fancy watching and interacting with us live whilst we're playing through some games, you can find us on twitch.tv/modernescapism. Biggie's still playing through his Dark Souls on
Fucking
Mondays.
hell, it's been a year.
I ended up in the
Yes,
catacombs last Monday. Bloody hell. That's not annoying at all.
By all accounts, you did well in the catacombs. Quite a tricky area, mate.
Didn't do too bad, actually.
I have
Did he-
no idea.
Gadget, has he got a light source there?
No,
dear.
not yet. Also, he doesn't have anything holy.
Oh dear.
So he's having to do the catacombs the hard way.
He hasn't got the Astara Straight sword.
No.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, no.
I run a weekly horror stream on Thursdays. I'm carrying on playing through Outlast, which I almost rage quit last week.
Which bit are you
I
at?
just got through the courtyard bit, and I'd run out of batteries, and I could see
God.
nothing.
Yeah, that was
That is
mental.
the worst part of the game.
I thought the previous bit was bad, and that was worse. I had to
No, it
turn
picks
off my
up
ring
after
light.
the-
I couldn't see anything.
You're nearly done with it, actually. Yeah, it picks up. But I said to you last time, Outlast 2's better. But people didn't play it.
Well, maybe I will. Gadget, you're doing a run through of Fallout 4, aren't you, on survival mode?
Yes, because I'm a fucking idiot.
It's very enjoyable to watch, though.
Them fucking one-hit kills.
It's very pretty. I have to see.
It's
compared
a
PC
gorgeous
compared to
game.
console. Bloody hell.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous game on PC. Yeah, it's I was kind of unprepared for how difficult survival mode is.
So hard, isn't it?
But it's funny.
It is. It is.
It was.
It's a funny game in general, I think.
It can be. It has its moments. It was Man v Bear, wasn't it, last week?
Yes. I spent about an hour trying to kill a Yao
So
guy.
good.
And then
And
Stig
it
and
nearly got me a couple of times.
Oodles host variety streams throughout the week, and the best place to keep up with it would be to just check our Twitter, or even better, if you can subscribe to us, you'll get notifications on the Twitch app when we're
Click
going
that
on live.
bell.
You'll get notifications of what new equipment Oodles has just bought.
Yeah.
Switch
I
Pro.
do need to. I do. Oh.
I would say the OLED Switch will be out next week.
Ooh, don't talk about it. If we don't talk about it, I won't buy it.
You need it, though. You're a professional gaming journalist.
Yes.
Oh, shush. Shush.
You're a paid gamer.
Paid gamer.
And we've already talked about it, but you can find us on patreon.com/modernescapism as well. You got your 3 tiers, £5 for Modern Escapees, £5 for Scorched Sheep, or £7.50 for the Biggie bundle. And that gets you everything.
Oh.
Next week, our topic is Age Like Milk. So what media has just not stood the test of time, be it problematic, bad special effects, or just not as good as you remember?
We will have problematic warnings and things like that if we go in that direction, but it's going to be scathing. Oh, it's going to be good.
And therapeutic as well.
I've got so many. I need to narrow it down. I've got so many. My heart wants to go just Age Like Milk Matrix sequels, but I'm not. I'm not going to go there.
We can't touch on that again,
Not
surely.
touching the
I'm not going to go there.
We've bullied it enough.
We're going to leave it alone, but it's so many good ones. It's going to be a great show. But for anyone that's not paying us, you tight bastards, we're going to say bye-bye to you now. We're going to meet the patrons round the back. But thanks for tuning in, and as always, good night.
Fine, we got a woman in. What more do they want?
What more do they want? We've got an older gentleman. We've got a bisexual gentleman. We've got whatever I am.
Bridge goblin.
Omnisexual. Uber sexual.
I think I'm just like the most
Default.
default.
You're Johnny Default.
You're the starting skin in Fortnite.
He is. Oh, bless him.
At least your name ain't Joe.
Elderly gentleman, motherfucker.
You've got 10 years on me.
Oh, it must be time for his nap. Getting a bit cranky.
Wow.
I said you're getting a bit cranky.
That's your
a good
Easter egg.
Easter egg.
That's your Easter egg.
Yeah,
That's your Easter egg.
That's
It's a
probably
beauty.
could be my Easter egg.
It's a beauty.
I didn't mean it, Vicky.
Too late.
I meant it for her.
Don't worry, I've got dementia. I'll probably forget about it in a minute.
Huh.